It is 10:37 a.m. May 1st, 2021. As I captured a video, Southwest Airlines, third party providing instrumentalities of federal group stalking and monitoring, flying in front of me while I'm at Euclid in Philadelphia. License plate BL25496, 5HDE422, 7UHJ350, 8VFW209. License plate 6SUU701, 8622472, 7W31205, 8KAJ721, 4ZNG850, 6ZNL426, 6JGJ353, 8Z6813, substantially similar to that, 5TGX451, 8LIL552, I believe, 18143Z2, crossing path, 7KOZ048, 7SGT027, and I'm just reading third parties as they're crossing path 6RAR949 at Euclid Avenue and Philadelphia Street. The state crossing path visibly. Understand, the state is always stalking by planes. Southwest Airlines is the means whereby the state visibly comes down at lower elevation to fly west over Euclid Avenue, right as in front of me as I am walking north on Euclid Avenue. The state's fake sun directly over me at the corner. This is crossing path, speaking to what the people of the state are engaged in concert with that entity. 5UOP425, 6DDW177, 5SMX729, 8TIG603, 5DW1199, that's an out-of-state plate, U.S. Navy, they're engaged in monitoring, 8SJZ161, 8HME851, 8CXT541. It's currently 10:39 a.m. Crossing path 23288A1, 7EZL 514, Brink Security, vehicle number 192326, driving what is north on Euclid Avenue, crossing path under all the same hallmarks and the elements remaining present. They are group stalking in a commercial vehicle. That is P.O.C. This is license plate 64875X1 in a commercial vehicle. This is West Coast Arborist, Inc. California license number California 68562 and license 366764. That's P.O.C. 5T17257 32984C3. That is license plate 70429Z1, 5JLT482, 8NLF973, 7WIJ538. This is 42380Y1, 6L58458, 7HCY731, 7MMZ194, 8CDJ921, substantially similar to that, 7YNB726, 7SWW087, 8PSV772, 2485, 9R2. Amazon Prime loves to get in. They are sex offender 77163N2. Okay, that's P.O.C. That is 7NME715, 29535Y2. All right, now as I'm documenting third parties, as I have already demonstrated, not only does the state engage in following and stalking with its impossible light activity, you've seen this on the sidewalk, you've seen this on the buildings, while third parties are merely driving past, they're monitoring on the run, while the state's directed light is all over the sidewalk, which is never naturally occurring, even if that was the actual sun that remains over my head, irrespective of any direction that I am walking outside, location that I am at. And as I showed in the video, as I am in 227 and the state is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring in the parking lot of economy, and the state's fake sun is clearly captured in my video at that time, the same time that I am standing out here far away from the second floor of Economy Inn, and the state's fake sun is nowhere over that building. All right, if it was over where I'm standing now at Wine Barrel Liquor at 2205 on Euclid Avenue, I would not have been able to capture it as I pointed my camera straight up in the sky over my room where the state's fake sun was present as AMR Ambulance, Ontario Fire Department, San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department engaged in P.O.C. just like all of these third parties in relevant position. This is the significance of every third party that I document. 29535Y2. 6UOG864, 7RLG841, 10262L2, 8ABF025, 68720F2, 5, can't really see that one, hiding behind a trailer, 7DFB 785, 8UDN 698, using a loud car to monitor that's intentional under a fake sun, 5RXW 613, 8PJS 148, THOPSD 8CEZ 958, FABANJK 7LQK 939, LOW 1961, 8MRL 169 or 8MLR 169. This is 8E38916, 8GLP 407. Also understand what I've been documenting while I remain subject to monitoring, which is an ongoing threat to my life, my physical safety, my overall well-being, all the hallmarks present at Economy N. Understand third parties systematically monitoring as they are driving past on the 60 freeway, driving past on Euclid Avenue. I just happen to be out to catch these criminal, perverted group stalkers, all right? While I am here, they've been monitoring, meaning they, as in the people of the state, for the duration of my stay at Economy N, including Amazon Prime, which likes to be included in P.O.C. Understand their presence is intentional. It's not coincidental, especially where I have also identified what are the elements and what are the hallmarks. A fake sun over your head everywhere you're going, and that's clearly distributed in documentation, irrefutable. That's intentional presence, 7VES 206. Your presence under that hallmark is the P.O.C. 8KPP 840, 5TYG 279, 11407Y2. So they're having a field day monitoring me while what is supposed to be heard cars on Euclid Avenue and the 60 freeway, while I'm in the shower, while I'm on the toilet, while I'm washing my hands inside of the private space, which is that room, which is absolutely impossible to hear from that distance. This is the same group. I'm naming them now while I happen to be out under the fake sun, by the way, which is incriminating every single last one of them. As I have stated, this is merely identifying those actors of that same group, 65365N2, in case I didn't read that one already, 11407Y2. This is 8RNF 671, 8TMT 620, 7VZG 093, 94118H2, 83333Z2, 7KYX 505, 6BPU 390, 1881 3E2, 14643 E2, 7BYJ 994, 6RCC 591, 6BSA 793, 8NLF 809. This is 6HJZ 096, 16235A3. All right, you have, understand also what I noted, the third-party Southwest American Airlines, or Southwest Airlines, used as a means of instrumentality for the public entity that is the state of California to monitor me, using their commercial plane, and doing so while I'm walking from the venue of Economy N in relevant position. I did not have to actually see that plane. The state is always stalking via aircraft and helicopter, as already established. I captured that in order to punctuate the third-party group stalkers that I'm naming right now by license plate. And they are all listening to me. They're all aware that they're being documented. They are all under the fake sun, which is at the corner, nowhere even similar or possible to coexist with being over the room, as I've captured, directly over the roof of 227, where I stand, where it remains over that parking lot for the duration of the day. FLYINX. 7UQL147. This is 5YZF996. I want to be clear. This is the same group monitoring me while I'm physically indisposed, disrobed inside of the shower. This is why the state creates the squeaky sound of a shower, even when it's not actually the shower. But like I stated in my documentation, even if that was the shower squeaky, these psychopaths, these perverts are monitoring me to that activity. 8JQD501, 8PWK072. 739, let me see, I missed that one, 77664V1, 8ELL391, 6LYM934, 8HGD380, 8KMR029, 8EMH809, 6V3922, substantially similar to that. Amazon Prime loitering in relevant position at the Food Mart, which is directly the 76. I want to make sure I identify Amazon Prime specifically. They are a specific actor using that brand as a means of torment. This is the third party acting through that sort of company. They are loitering in relevant positions, standing on the outside, patrolling in and out at the on the exterior of the Food Mart. This is the same location where the state was patrolling in a helicopter on August 30th, which is the video that is on the front of my YouTube page. This is P.O.C. This is This is P.O.C. period. I want to be clear. Amazon Prime loitering in relevant position, gassing up the vehicle while they are standing out in relevant position. State's fake sent directly over my head, which is directly incriminating Amazon Prime. There is nothing that you're doing in relevant position under a fake sun, under the state's directed light, where the state is directly stalking. You are vicariously stalking on behalf of that entity, and that is Amazon Prime. Again, want to be clear on that. It is the intentional conduct as well, honking their horn as I press the button on my phone. That's audible activity. That's the stalking with activity conduct. And everything that they're doing it while they're listening to me. Those are psychopaths. It is 10:47 a.m., 7 VBX 585, 7 WTB 210, 8 UNL 547. This is 7 ZFE 406, 5 NPU 296. Okay, it is currently, like I said, 10:47 a.m. Hertz, HERTZ, the commercial vehicle. That's a brand, readily identifiable. Monitoring, using that vehicle to do so. This is license plate 4RB6258. I can't really see that one that clearly. This is license plate 5 U.O.C 983. Okay, it is again 10:48 a.m. 8 UZW 178. 0754803, substantially similar. 10:48 a.m. crossing path on Euclid Avenue, 8B91946, 54242L2, 8DXE922. Motorcycle used as a means to monitor. Alrighty, I did capture in that video. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the Amazon Prime that was driving out. As I'm speaking and narrating, they stop on the side of the road, creating light activity, and they're just in different vehicles. They're in a Hertz vehicle. They're in different white unmarked vans, and they're in their Amazon Prime vehicles. This is the entity acting via a brand, a company, and this is also the pattern. Not only are they engaged in the monitoring criminal pattern of conduct, they're engaged in that demonic feature. As you identify them, they engage in more of the same. Which is in no way diverting from the pattern of conduct, and it is also speaking to that same pattern that the state engages in as it's been identified as a group stalker, as it's been identified engaging in a specific act. It engages in more and more of that same. This is the pattern, and this is going toward the malice with which the people of the state of California engage in P.O.C. It is currently, that's what I captured on the video, it's 10:51 a.m. And I want to go ahead and read these license plates again so I can be on my podcast as well. 05137E2. Amazon in a Hertz vehicle 306088X2. Amazon in a Hertz vehicle 10542U2. And they're just outside. I'm on the cameras. They're just patrolling on the outside. They're monitoring. The building that they're outside is the 76 at 2155 Euclid Avenue. Amazon Prime in a Amazon Prime vehicle. License plate 00034U2. Amazon Prime in the other unmarked white van 24661R2. P.O.C. They're just walking around the vehicle. This is the same place on August 30th, I believe. It's on the front of my YouTube page where the state was flying around in a helicopter after it was flying over me in a helicopter at Food for Less and remaining in that parking lot. This is the same conduct by the people, understand? And the state's fake sun is right over me. And what is clearly seen is it is nowhere over economy in. And that's the state flying over my head in a plane. It's currently 10:52 a.m. That's also going toward Amazon Prime, crossing path under the state's audible activity 77402N2. That's Amazon Prime. All right, third parties acting with Amazon Prime, acting with the state that's flying over me with its light source 8RRH968 46376B1. Commercial vehicle. This is FedEx US .265752. And the back license plate is not visible. That's FedEx though. Group stalking with Amazon and the rest of them. 6BTD160, 5YZT260, 6JYA116, 6YKH441, 6TES118, 4DSG015, 7PFM72. This is 56751F1, 7H. AD787, HNDG 216, 7YUZ 602, 6MAF 092. All right. I just captured substantial video of essentially the literally provision of rich documentation and also ongoing confirmation of what I have stated. Third parties are intentionally present. This is not ordinary traffic where the public entity is monitoring. License plate 8KVV 416. And this is also demonstrated by the environment, which is the state's light source, a fake sun over my head. In direct conflict with every other location, including Economy Inn, where I have been since, March 8th, I believe, March 4th, the beginning of March, where I've documented the entire documentation of my stay there. And as I'm mentioning, Amazon Prime engaging in that intentional presence and readily identifiable by virtue of that brand, that company, that logo, and it is intentional engagement in the P.O.C. And that's what I just captured in video, coming in substantial presence at the same 76 where the state was group stalking by a helicopter, 8TCK 752 AEQB 464, which is also where the state is swarming the airspace above me in commercial airplanes, and where the state's fake sun, again, it's directly over my head, and the planes are flying directly over my head. And this is Amazon Prime engaging in that pattern of conduct of monitoring. It is also engaging in that pattern of conduct of that intentional federal level threat and harassment communicated by the people of the state using that company. Understand that. AAA 3037C53, substantially similar. It's AAA though. I can't really see the license plate. And I want to be clear, as I've stated, for example, my documentation, as I note, for example, USPS engaged in the P.O.C., then all of a sudden you'll have like a whole group of USPS vehicles that come everywhere after I identify it. If I name any sort of company brand, then they engage in more gang presence of that same brand. That's the demonic feature. And it is also criminal monitoring. License plate 7RND799, that's what Amazon Prime just gave an example of. That's the pattern, okay? And it is also the absence of coincidence. And this is also that which is achieving monitoring with communication devices in concert vicariously on behalf of the state. The state is acting directly, flying over my head. Amazon Prime engaging and waging that threat with the state that's stalking and threatening my life in that manner. Amazon Prime engaging in this overwhelming presence, representing the state vicariously while the state's fake sun is directly over. All of this is reasonably construed as that threat, that ongoing threat. ZEE HART MRS 6XOW 859 6XTP 873 8RCG 311 41612J1 6GYP 396 5BAW 409. All right, that's P.O.C. You've got the heavy plane activity now at Euclid and Philadelphia, as opposed to over the room where I am located at Economy Inn at 2301 South Euclid Avenue. You have the fake sun that's over this corner. And understand, as I went across the street to get all of the group stalkers in Amazon and Hertz vehicles and unmarked white vans, the fake sun moved across the street directly over my head. It remained squarely over me. This is totally This is that which is totally incompatible with being squarely over the roof of the room where it remains over that parking lot of Economy Inn. Understand, Economy Inn is an example of what the state is doing with its light source everywhere that I go. It can also not be over directly apartment 51 at Woodside Senior Apartments, as I captured it. That's what the state was doing for the duration of my stay at that venue. This is what the state was doing while I was sleeping in my car. Fake sun over that venue. It cannot coexist. And, for example, being at Walmart for the duration of the day, recall that I documented that in video so you can see it. The state's fake sun at 1333 North Mountain Avenue in Ontario, California. And the state's fake sun remaining present there for the duration of the day. This is August 14, 2020. All right? This is the state's light source remaining for the duration of the day. And this has nothing to do with time of year. This is not the actual sun. Another example of that, I was at Economy in August of 2020. Within days of going to Walmart and documenting P.O.C. while Walmart was monitoring me and the people of the state monitoring me at that venue. You've got the end of the year, the beginning of the year, and the state's fake sun is in this position. This is not comparable to what is the ordinary, true conduct of the actual sun. This is a light source that is present everywhere that I go, remaining where I go. Okay, that audible activity, Amazon Prime is monitoring me too. All right, they are filling up, gassing up in all of their 18 to 13 vehicles that they came in as I identify them, pursuant to that ongoing pattern. This is the demonic conduct acting under none other than an identification of a company brand. Understand that. All right, acting with the same group, the people that say as I'm identifying them by license plate, including 8LZB595. Paper plate BK93M22. The state is continuously patrolling by airplane. All right, flying, swarming around, honking their airplane, honking the horn as I press the button on my phone. That's called stalking with activity. 6KZU790, 7NXF595, 7GWE039, 6WDX239. Group stalking in the parking lot as I move around at the corner in a commercial vehicle, landscape, Gothic, license 457786, license plate 33026U2. This is P.O.C, and that is a white pickup truck. I remain at the Wine Barrel Liquor at 2205 Euclid Avenue, across the street from the 76, where Amazon Prime is loitering in relevant position. And this is ongoing P.O.C, and the state's fake sun remains here. I've already documented all of this with regard to the state's light source, how it is not over the property of Mercy House at 435 South Bondview. Remaining, again, I've documented this early in the morning and into the evening, where it's also over my head at the same time at Stater Brothers at 646 West Holt Boulevard. That is directly impossible to coexist. This is the light source remaining over my head. Why? Because I am the center of the universe where the public entity is monitoring me, and doing so in concert with companies, commercial actors, which are third parties such as Amazon Prime, going out of their way to communicate a threat while they're monitoring an American citizen that is aware of it, and they are aware of the fact by virtue of the nature of the crime that they're being documented. This is going to the conduct that they are actively engaging in, facilitating the people of the state, as I continue to identify them, to monitor me as well. This is planes over my head, fake sun over my head, directed light all around while you are in relevant position. You're facilitating, not only you're monitoring, you're facilitating that monitoring, and you are waging a threat. 7BXN 649, 8VFE 558, 8SNJ 361, 7NWS 393, 8338X1, substantially similar. Can we say that's a handicap plate? 6BPD 160, 6LNE 016, 7YKK 765. Amazon Prime exiting out of the parking lot of 76. That's license plate 00033U2. Loitering in relevant position at the traffic light. Everything they're doing is monitoring. Guess what? They're monitoring while they're patrolling, walking around like cockroaches in an Amazon uniform under the fake sun at the 76 gas station. Loitering in relevant position in their vehicles. Okay, driving around like cockroaches under the fake sun, monitoring with the state that's flying over my head in planes. They are the same cockroaches in their private vehicles, such as 7FRX423, 7HMS 669, 7WML 778, 7EFV 833, 7KRD 453. All right, this is P.O.C. Amazon Prime also loitering in relevant position, parked on Euclid Avenue, right in alignment to me behind the 83 bus stop, right? They're remaining here. Amazon specifically engaging in that, and that's intentional conduct while they know that I'm documenting them. 31217U2, S7A1727, INTLED, 8CBA 778, 7UQW 421, 6SNL 000, 5HAB 678, 8GDD 682, AJ926, that's a handicap plate, 7W99282. This is license plate 6B WM261. This is license plate 6RGX459. 4VLU082, I believe, substantially similar to that. 8TWS395. 7JCH053, Amazon Prime crossing path at the traffic light. But understand the state is controlling the traffic lights, and this is all patrolling. They are one group, and in the aggregate, they're repeatedly crossing path. This is called patrolling by cars, patrolling on foot, pedestrians, patrolling by airplanes. 6WHP190 and helicopters. California license 1042474, that is Mendoza Router. 5RAA704, that's audible activity crossing path with the state's fake sun and directed light. All right, again, Mendoza Router Plumbing, it's a commercial vehicle monitoring. License C366 pound 1042474. And the license plate of that commercial vehicle is C876SO. License 8DFA533. Spectrum 378 2Z1. Like I said, monitoring a relevant position, also monitoring in a private space through the communication device, which is the television. Spectrum engaged in this P.O.C. before, providing ongoing documentation, an example of what Spectrum is engaged in readily in a commercial vehicle with the same group, the people of the state. UPS, monitoring crossing path. Amazon Prime, monitoring crossing path. Another Amazon Prime, monitoring crossing path, license 10757B3. Stopping on the same side of the street. Going into the same gas station. Here they are. They're having an Amazon Prime meeting right in front of me at the 76, okay? This is P.O.C. This is license 50572T1. Amazon Prime remaining at this license, so you've got them coming and going, remaining at 76. This is called loitering in relevant position, and this is also an illustration of what is group stalking. Not only is group stalking maintenance in the path, all right, which is not individualized by a person. They're, as a group, remaining present in your path. They are also engaged in group stalking, as it is, for example, the use of any means of being in the path. And it is not that which is specific to one individual. This is a public entity that's monitoring, all right? License 8BAL952. 8LDJ357, monitoring to the use of that gardener at the 76, 8AUL727, 8HVM016. Understand that gardener, that's activity, is the same as the plane activity, all right? The same as the honking the horns. And doing so as I press a button on my phone, that's stalking with activity. This is license plate 8NQW591. Everything that you hear in the environment is intentionally created activity. This is 8LPH 702, monitoring me to that activity that the gardener is creating. And while, by the way, Amazon Prime just walking in circles over here at the 76, just walking outside, standing on the sidewalk, parked on the side of the street, just loitering in relevant position, all going to the same gas station as well. This is 8KUX904, the state directing light onto the asphalt in front while they're crossing path. This is P.O.C. This is license 7BXP697-28013G2, 8MYB623, 7WML278. All right, this is license plate 8L. Oh, I got that one already. 5NHW231, 5WLW058. That's audible activity. And I want to get these license plates 76113Z2. 4VOM824, 59976S2, 5Y70254. That's audible activity, just scraping the asphalt. All right, they're doing gardening at the gas station. This is 8D75454, 4KSL094, 4VPF794, 5EEF293. This is license 5SDV304. Amazon Prime, driving 0034U2. Crossing path at the back part of the parking lot as I walk toward the back part of the parking lot, following. That's the passive aggressive stalking. All right, remaining at the gas pump, pumping gas, walking around as I walk to the back part of this parking lot to get those license plate. Amazon Prime, driving out the back part of that parking lot. That's P.O.C. Amazon Prime, monitoring to the gardeners, monitoring to the plane activity, monitoring under the fake sun. This is, in case I didn't read this license plate, 10376U2. That's Amazon Prime in an unmarked white van. 5H24855. 10757B3. That's the bigger Amazon Prime truck that arrives. And 05137E2. PGS1 or PGSI12. Understand, they're all monitoring me to this activity that this garden is creating. This is how the entity monitors. Southwest Airlines, crossing path, flying over Euclid Avenue right in front of me. 8PRN275, 6VBW258. It's 11:07 a.m. All right, I did just capture in pictures what is the ongoing P.O.C. The state's fake sun directly over my head as I'm standing at the 76. You can even see the Amazon logo as they're standing in front of me, loitering in relevant position under the fake sun, which is nowhere over my room at 227, room 227 Euclid Ave. I'm sorry, 2301 South Euclid Avenue in room 227. It was directly over my room at this time. This is speaking to what Amazon Prime is engaged in. Acting with the gardener, that's stalking with activity. I even got a picture of the group stalkers in their Amazon uniforms, in their Amazon vehicles. 8MYY357, 5ESK224, 6WPD279, 6UOU914, 8GOE383, 4PRK720, The license on this number, on this vehicle, 320279. That's Amazon Prime with the license 10757B3. All right, exiting the gas station now, crossing path at the street. 8SQU727, 5UMC724. This is 59917V1. 8SME366. All right, another Amazon Prime. This is an employee driving an unmarked white van. Understand, this is what the entity does as well. This is the that which is relevant as I'm identifying, again, the entity that knows that I'm identifying them by license plate engages in such conduct, driving unmarked vehicles, changing vehicle license plates, covering up license plates. So this is all relevant to what is criminal obstruction of justice while you're constantly monitoring. Amazon Prime in an unmarked vehicle identified by that same Amazon Prime vest. And you also had what was the ubiquitous presence, the overwhelming presence of Amazon Prime at the 76. Planes flying over my head at that 76. And as I captured in video and in pictures, state's fake sun over my head at the 76. This is Amazon Prime that was also engaged in that same pattern of conduct as I was narrating in real time at the economy end room. When I'm opening the door, Amazon Prime crossing path on the freeway, that's intentional, just as intentional as this is. 7MBH848, and they are monitoring while I'm inside of that private space, as are the people of the state in general. But I want to be clear and specifically identify that as an actor within the group of the people of the state of California monitoring through that company. It is the same entity acting vicariously on behalf of the state and using that company brand, which needs to be, and I have shown, they are engaged in that criminal conduct, and this is demonic activity, readily identified through none other than a company name, okay? TWOGO HART D. 30141N2 6T88076 8L93574 8DCX660 53278A3 or 53278A3. Amazon Prime again. Crossing path and going back to the same 76 gas station right here, where the state's fake sun is moving. As I'm standing in front of 2205 Wine Barrel Liquor, patrolling in and out. What's on the surveillance cameras at that venue? What's on the surveillance cameras at grocery outlet at Walgreens? What's on the surveillance cameras at 76? What's on the surveillance cameras surrounding at the G&M, surrounding at the Chevron, at the Jack in the Box? Amazon Prime license plate 5327683, Amazon 5327783, Amazon license plate 44380C3, Amazon license plate 5327283. Okay, this is P.O.C. And this is everything that is surrounding what I'm speaking to. Surveillance cameras, they're engaged in group stalking, acting in concert with Amazon Prime, the people of the state acting through that company name. And I want to be clear, it's not just here where I'm identifying Amazon Prime engaged in that which they've been engaged in, stalking on the freeway, stalking while I'm at the Ontario Town Square, stalking while I'm at what is the place of employment, which was Country Village Apartments, group stalking while I'm walking down the street, while I'm sitting at the Ontario Village Shopping Center and molesting with light while you're crossing path. Amazon Prime documented already engaged in this. License plate 15171D3, Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime license plate 16876B3. Okay? And I also want to be clear, they would rather me identify them than the individuals. 8Z46087, 8TBK035, 8NDL383, 5057271, 7UXM167, 6FCE398, 6GBF082, 91558N2. License plate 7YOU 585, sometimes similar. 7WHE252. It is currently 11:13 a.m. Let me go ahead and take a picture for you so you can. That is the images that I just took at 11:14, another group, 3933 of the same actor. That is the Amazon Prime acting in concert with the people. Another Amazon Prime. So this is the opposite of coincidence, okay? 16876B3. 8RKG320 U634BO. Amazon Prime 5327583. License 49098S2 5TMF686. TS or I.I.S. What is that? ISCRUZN 8PXU158. Alpha Materials. That's a commercial brand, commercial vehicle driving past. License plate 8N55346. Amazon Prime 77406N2, Amazon Prime, 00046U2, Amazon Prime. This is license plate, not Amazon, 34911E2. Amazon Prime license 5327483. Sounds a lot like the license plate I already read. 7FKD290, 8BRB922. All right, 7L06187. Third party is coming on 5ZKP292. Loud vehicle under fake send, that's intentional. 374. This is Spectrum monitoring me to that activity. 37482Z1. This is license LEDRSHP. Leadership. 7XDM431. 24366E3. 8RFV281. 15343D1, 7ADZ013, 4VHH322, 7CWZ235, 8VPU386. Alrighty, I read that one already. 7L06187, 7Y87815. You have what is Highway Patrol. Let me go ahead and get this as well. All right, I did just capture California Highway Patrol. That is law enforcement engaging group stalking, acting with Amazon Prime license 5327183. Again, having the same license plate, it's the brand that's engaging in P.O.C. License 7716 4NZ. License plate 7E92407, 7836OB3, 8MYL952, 8NJG241, 7RZL805, 44883E2, 8MJR274, 8CQJ688, 56136R2, 8JTM416, 8R99143, 7WGG212, 8ADR687, 6Y82842, 8UFR709, 8LHE979, 5TFG016, 3TOE154, 8EQK140, 8HQK699. It is currently 11:17 a.m. So let me give you a picture of what license plate 42302R1, 6VOH952, 5PAZ107, 232744B1, 7ZNN647, 7GLX 863, 8TNZ221, 7X94478, 6GOB139, 7TRB555, license 12678P2. They're all lined up in traffic while the state's fake sentence is moving over my head. They're monitoring on the run in traffic. This is P.O.C. African-American male driving what looks to be, a Dodge Hemi. Group stalking in traffic. Fake send moving about for the convenience of their criminal conduct on the run. Paper plate BL12L53. This is a third-party group stalker, license 8THJ315, license RAVEICN, license 4ERN900, 8DVZ451. Is that correct? 8DVZ451, yeah. 6TU889. And we've got license plate 8BPA803 F28YR12. I don't see no plate on the front of this vehicle. And again, fake send moving over my head as I walk through traffic to get these license plates. Let's see, 8G36129. 7NOY626, 8VXZ931, in case I didn't read that one, 7LQL154, 7FSHO23, 82769L2, 8KLS431, 8LCT298, 99689A2, 7MBE731. This is a large truck, 9G269668. Substantially similar to that. And it's got a different back plate. 6U56715. 8MCA747. It's a very different looking license plate. That looks like paper on that vehicle. 8RSS165 or 169. 8CPT274. 41612J1. It is currently 11:21 a.m. This is no license on that Titan. 89646. I want to say D1. I can't really see the back of that one. This is, 89646D1. That's correct. 51189T1. License 8HHV542. All right, UPS, Amazon Prime, the same brands. Spectrum, engaging in P.O.C. Omnitrans, engaging in P.O.C. All right, this is the ongoing remaining present via gas. All right, that's how out they are with their conduct. Everyone with Amazon Prime logo as I identify them now. Everybody wants to get gas. 7KKXE230. 7M72073. And I mean everybody that works for Amazon or everybody that's driving an Amazon vehicle within a close radius going to the 76 in relevant position. 8T86049. 7JZL067. 8AAE103. 8AXZ914. 7WIP753. 1010S. HWH4732. That's a New York license plate. 7KIL197. 4VXF697. 7HOP550. 8JGN724. 8KAB453. 8KOY302. 5RDR046. Amazon Prime crossing on the opposite side of the street as well. I guess they don't need gas, they're just driving past. Irrespective of, like I stated, this is the ongoing engagement in the elements, and you see not only that they're engaged in the elements that remain present, which govern, you're also looking at the character of the conduct, all right? So this is Amazon Prime, readily identified as a group stalker under the guise of that company brand logo, using that commercial vehicle, that provision of services in order to group stalk, including at the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library. Captured a group stalker working for Amazon Prime, standing in line behind me. This is the same criminal conduct, and you are looking at how they engage in it. This is a communication by that group stalker, all right, while you're engaged in that ongoing gang presence, especially as I've shown the pattern. As I identify them, then they engage in more ganging up of the same. That same company name will be everywhere once I identify it, all right? That's the demonic feature of what is criminal conduct. 8TJE700, 8PCH707. I am identifying that which is right now the state flying over in a commercial plane. That is not Southwest Airlines. That's an all-white airplane with a colored tail. White and blue colored tail. I am identifying Omnitrans number 2350, license 1545684, driving north on Euclid Avenue, crossing path under the fake sun, all right? 53216R2, 8FLK775, FedEx 96494D3, 8C76271. I am identifying what is the that demonic malicious hostility that is communicated as they're documented. That's the picture that Amazon Prime is providing in conformity to the pattern of conduct as I've demonstrated. So not only have I demonstrated the elements as I've broken them down, light, activity, and relevant positioning, then you're also looking at what are the hallmarks. You have this occurring under the incredible occurrence of what is clearly not the sun, remaining over me where I am at any venue, the latest venue, Economy Inn at 2301 South Euclid Avenue, as I stated, as I've already established before going to Economy Inn for the second time of March 2021 up until the present, May 1st, 2021. And you have, let me get this, 8VDJ824, 7UH J350, BNS3541. And that looks like an out-of-state plate. You have also, in addition to the engagement in the criminal elements of monitoring, because this is what controls, you're also characterizing, you're also analyzing the conduct, all right? You are looking at what is that expression of hostility, and this is legally analyzed. So this is more than just engaging in the monitoring. You're engaging in ongoing audacious determination to continue to engage in that conduct under that guise, which is no guise whatsoever when you're analyzing federal group stalking and monitoring. And this is that which is intentional conduct based on the nature of the crime. They know that they're being documented, so they know that what they're doing has been identified and being documented. And this is Frontier 8K60421, like I've stated. Monitoring a relevant position, monitoring via communication devices inside of a private space using a television. But like I've stated, that conduct that Amazon Prime is, this is what all of the actors do. Okay, as I engage in identifying a specific actor, which again is supposed to be unknown. All right, how you're not supposed to ever know where the entity is monitoring in this at this level. It's not ever supposed to be detected that Omnitrans, for example, is engaged in monitoring you. They're only driving their bus route. No. This is embedded into society. They are able to engage in monitoring the ease of whether they are engaged in deviating from their driving routes and their timetable, which I've documented, or driving on schedule pursuant to their published routes, and they are engaging in the P.O.C. All right, they're in relevant position. They're creating visible and light activity. They're also molesting with the state while you're monitoring with that entity that's engaged in that sexual violence. All right, you're monitoring with them. You're molesting with it, and there is no guise under which it is anything other than that. That's how the legal analysis goes, and that's not an anomaly to analyzing any manner of federal of criminal law. 6RXU956, or criminal activity, 7NJH540, IFLL01. I want to get U.S.PS, which is engaging in P.O.C, going out of its way to participate. Again, the entity is aware when I'm identifying them, and they go out of their way to go and participate. They're under the fake sun, creating light activity, parked in a parking spot with the hazards on, okay? I just want to be clear. This is what the type of stuff that Amazon and FedEx all do. They're using the fact that they're in such a vehicle to use their light activity. You're parked, and you don't even need your hazard lights. It's creation of light activity. But second of all, you also have them under what is the fake sun, which is already the creation of light activity. That's amplification of plane activity over my head. This is USPS number 1261519, and it is currently 11:28 a.m. All right, I did capture video of the state flying over my head. Again, that's a development as I begin reciting criminal conduct by USPS. The state that is always stalking by plane begins audible activity creation via plane activity. All right, flies directly over my head. That's targeted conduct as well. Where the state's fake sun is directly over my head. This is targeting conduct with its light, molesting with its light. USPS engaged in molestation, sexually violating the target individual that they're criminally monitoring vicariously and on behalf of that entity. That's exactly what Amazon Prime is engaged in. All right, and I'm pointing out their criminal conduct, their engagement in the elements, and the state flies over my head in a plane. Amazon Prime still loitering in relevant position at the same gas station directly across the street from me. State's fake sun remaining over my head. I caught it in the picture, right? The 76 logo. I had to cross the street to get that, and the state's fake sun is right over my head over there. I'm capturing what is the state's fake sun directly over my head as the state is flying over my head while I'm on the opposite side of the street in direct alignment with USPS. Understand that is the state's real-time movement and migration of its light source. Speaking to what they are engaged in, as I have already established it. License 8JJT558. It is currently 11:29 a.m. License 8ERX193, 7ROW604, 8CPC270, 7JBL087, 8TBF837, 8NUB018. Or it's essentially someone, let me get this, 8NUB or 8NJB. 8NUB018. Did I read this one? 8TBF837, in case I didn't. 5FZK199, 8SLS904. Yeah, that Tesla is 8NUB018. This is 72722D3, 4TJJ916, 04734G1, 7POU893, 8FJX277, USPS crossing path now, driving north on Euclid Avenue, crossing path again, 8RZN578, 8HRDSYL. So that's HR, that's the beginning of that license plate, and the rest of it is correct. 6WHP995. License plate 5KNX284, 7ZEE954, I believe, substantially similar. 6U94938, 8RHM228, 06874A3, 5RLM833. I didn't really get the rest of that one. You can scratch that one. 0S AGEMN 32899K2. It's just substantially similar to that. 7NTU350 CPD0159. That's an Arizona plate. 7NJZ141, and this is license plate 7WBW486, 7YYE600, license VO77LO, license 8SDZ526. Let's see. All right. Let's see. In case I didn't read the 8LWP757. Yeah, and that's 8SDZ536. Yeah, that's correct. 4XTN319, 7YPW689, 8Y61721. I understand that music is audible activity. That's intentional conduct. You're not enjoying music, you're monitoring. This is how the system operates, okay? Everything is serving the criminal monitoring purpose. Just as it is intentional presence, it's intentional audible activity, which, by the way, the state is also amplifying. This is license plate 5, it said 5 ZO, I believe, FIVEZO. Substantial symptoms, that's a Latino male driving a black pickup truck driving north on Euclid Avenue. It's 11:33 a.m. License 04731W2. License 7TXN987, 8MEF499. License 6PSD362, 7UZG453, 7TMC120, 6YAE188, Texas plate NTH3006, 7DVE790, 6VWP562, 4HAH840, license 8BGU985, 8JYX507, 6FPR071, RC Air, commercial vehicle 59552F1, and license number 674841, monitoring 3783. I can't see the rest of that plate. 79699L2, 6CAV993, 8GQS974, 7RGZ025, 7DFW076, 7WIJ538, 6WPD779. USPS loitering in relevant position. They are on Philadelphia facing west, creating light activity using their hazards. State's fake center is directly over me, and they are in alignment. That's P.O.C. It is 8BPJ872, 7SAY377, 8AMM251, 6UOJ375, BFA5CBA. That's an Arizona plate. That's a paper plate. K01B65, 8HTW038, 6RWB315, 8HSE599, 1LOVE08, 5GWS298, 7YDX280, 8BLV639, 8CZ553, I believe. This is 45576C2. 02446T2, that's Pabon, license 488615. Pabon, PABON, that's a commercial vehicle. 6PXS891. 14596F3. 8TNF887. 6BVC369. 70204Z2. License plate 7RKR219, 7WMF656, license plate 7AWK845, 7BQT124, 9889J2 or 9889J2, 248 0G1, substantially similar, 3034E1. Let's see, BSTAUNT 7NEJ116, 8EVT28, D534BO, 5MJ 5MVJ 446 39630N1. It is currently 11:36 a.m. And this is third parties as they're patrolling at the intersection of Euclid and Philadelphia. And the state's light source, which is a fake sun, remaining squarely over my head as I move. And I have moved from Euclid Avenue, where the state's fake sun was clearly captured over me in that room. 6RIM 624, 6AVD 383, 5NIC 776, 7YMD 135, 8RCT 576, 7LTH 310, 7KHR 488. 8TZW 744. All right. The state engages in feigning. SoCal Gas engaged in P.O.C. They are crossing path, driving south on Euclid Avenue, monitoring in relevant position, vicariously acting on behalf of the state. In concert, it's part of the same group under all the same facts. It does not change the type of vehicle that you're in, or the uniform that you're wearing, or the demonic impression operating over all of them. This is 8RSB 152, 8PDS 936, 8GIR 753, 7WPA 031, 7VYR 535, 8Y41306. Paper plate. This is a license BL79H80, 8EZD 130. 96601T2, 47186W1, 5W, I read that one already, 39630N2. Yeah, 0N1, excuse me, and that's FedEx. This is license plate 5LQT658, 3TOE, already crossing path again, so I'm going to read that. 3TOE 154, 4SIT 948, 5YZW 795, 8FHE 991. This is 44678H2. That's Laura's Meat. Monitoring, crossing path, using a commercial vehicle. I don't see a license number. This number is on the back of the truck, California 411561. License plate WEDDLE3, 6UQW421. License 8LEG 502. Okay, so the state's conduct with its light source, as I've pointed out in the ample of ongoing documentation, specifically of monitoring as I remain subject to it at all times, demonstrated at Economy N. What the state is doing at all times is indeed documented at Economy N, 8TCD 764, 5KUF 923. The state engages in feigning a setting sun, and you see where the state's light is aiming onto Economy N. If it is moving over me as I am moving, it is not setting and aiming light onto that property. It's not even over that property right now. That is the pattern of conduct with the state's light source, okay? The state engaging in aiming light onto the second floor, moving light all over 7R82489, and the state's fake sun is directly over my head. Not only is that light activity not going to occur, even if that actually was the sun that happened to be over that property, but the facts and the state's behavioral pattern with this light source is demonstrating otherwise. If that was the sun, it does not remain over the same address for the duration of the day, rising and setting, and I put that in air quotes. 7YPP 554. That's a third party using their vehicle to create audible activity, which also the state is amplifying under its light source, while directed light is also surrounding. This is 7WYA 844, and these are the same people, the same group that are monitoring while I'm inside of a private space, such as a private residence or a hotel room, for example. The state was amplifying this activity, which is never going to be heard inside of the depths of a hotel room, inside of that hotel room. That's called amplification, and that is also called the state artificially engineering the sound of traffic, while third parties that I'm identifying, such as 21949E2, are crossing paths and patrolling. They're acting with the state. That's why the fake sun is over my head. 8AEF 322. 5WLW058, 3SWX076, 8N27116, paper BK80F47, 8MBE761, that's LV1PUP, that's looks like an incomplete license plate. LV1PUP, yeah, that's what it says. This is license 8UWJ183. All right, and what I've shown at Economy N is that which I've already established as well. State's fake sun remaining over Economy N, and I documented months and months and months of it remaining over me wherever I happen to be that Mercy House, at all the same times, remaining in that central position and remaining for the duration of the day if I happen to stay there. Also at Ontario Town Square. You are not both over my room at Economy Inn at 231 South Euclid Avenue and over me at the Ontario Town Square, over the amphitheater, squarely over me, wherever I am sitting. Not just over the property, over me, okay? This is 8 EEP 278, 6 SKP 790, MOREN 8A, 7 XQX 688, 1964 3C3, 8 UWJ 183, 6 WMC 655, 7D 84296, 60138, that's a handicap, 8 LGV, I can't see the rest of that one, 55636X1, 8 KQY 951, that is 4 DZT 344, 42273Y2, 4ZVJ 928, I can't really see that one, 4335582, and 7D 97087, 16813D3, 7UZG 453, because I didn't read that one already, 6GFU 489, 6YNB015, 7WXU012, 7KHK 902, 8DTE 399, 8CSZ078, 19643C2, I believe, and this is 8357 2H2 01457S2, 8SNR 495, 7FNG 404. This is Amazon Prime engaging in ongoing patrolling. Okay, they're just repeatedly driving past on the street as opposed to loitering in relevant position using the 76 right in front of me. They're continuously engaging. Understand that's a specific actor acting, and Amazon Prime represents one actor within that group in the same way that 8MCX064 represents one actor within that group. 6SJB 634. So while they're trying to individualize it using the same license plate on multiple Amazon Prime vehicles, Amazon Prime acts as one engaging in ongoing criminal conduct and repeatedly crossing paths on purpose while they know I'm documenting them, which is ongoing monitoring and threatening conduct and harassment while they're monitoring. This is 6LVL 841. Amazon Prime, understand the legal analysis, is a sex offender, all right? 7WZS 504. AV74 B82, that's a paper plate. 7EXZ 518, 6UJN 815, 8RNC 547, 8DSB 400, 8JLC 644. I'll get that one. BD 66R74, BK91L27. Those are paper plates. 6WL5Y02, I believe. Driving into the 76. It's currently 11:44 a.m. BD 42350. This is a license plate. I read this one, 8RNC 547. This is license 8JLC 644. 8DCK 497. Paper BK14503. 8DAZ 455. 6YAF 589. 7RKR 105, 8CDS 832, 4VYL 475, 5JTW 311, 8EHW 281, 6GYA 688, 8KHG 148, 7MPY 842, 8RCG 204. SGR DD1. It's a white BMW, creating audible activity while crossing path. And that's intentionally so. Using your vehicle, you are intentionally present. You are also aware of the fact that the state has a fake sun, and you are monitoring with that entity. And any activity that you create is pursuant to that criminal conduct, which is also attributed to the entirety of that entity. 8FNW 179, because I didn't read that one already. 8LCT 577-15193A3, 5XGP 993, group stalking at 76, driving out into the street in order to cross paths as I cross the street. This is a license plate. Let me get 5PTT 726 and 8BEU 411. All right, again, this 76 that I'm referencing, this is the same one where, again, the state was monitoring and group stalking via helicopter flying in a circle using its spotlight, as I documented on August 30th, 2020. This is the same intersection. It's located at 2155 Euclid Avenue, at the intersection of Philadelphia and Euclid. License plate 6WYL502, group stalking at the gas station right now. The employee comes out with the broom and the dustpan in order to empty the trash. Understand he's engaging in positioning as I stand in the parking lot, using everything that they have at their disposal to engage in crossing a path, getting in the presence. OLDVAN, that's a license plate. This is P.O.C. and it is currently 11:46 a.m. States fake sun nowhere over the room of 227 Economy Inn, as it has been documented for the duration of my stay, while the state is acting vicariously and directly, monitoring me the entire time. And this is why the state's fake sun is over my head as I'm walking north on Euclid Avenue, as I have already demonstrated and established in my documentation. OLDVAN merely enters the parking lot, drives through the parking lot in order to cross path, and drives back onto Euclid Avenue. All right, that is the use of your car in order to engage in the criminal element of crossing a path. Even if he got out to go buy a bag of chips, he's engaged in monitoring. Let me get these license plates: 7APD027, 5BZX346, 7CQX378. I think I read those already. And that's P.O.C. State's light source remaining over my head as I walk north on Euclid Avenue, having left third-party facilitating venue of Economy Inn. That is P.O.C. All right, license are covered up at 2141 Euclid Avenue. This is a private residence. They're monitoring, meaning they're going out of their way to create activity as I am crossing path, meaning walking down the street. And the state's fake sun is over my head. This is P.O.C. I want to get these license plates. Vehicles on the street, 6BCR197. License plate 7ZKS162, 0349. Hold on, I missed that one. 0349 4N1. All right, so the way that P.O.C. works, they are continuously monitoring, systematically so, via traffic, and they are also monitoring inside of any public establishment, any business. As I'm walking, that's called crossing a path, while they remain stationary and I am in motion. They're also monitoring while I walk past any private residence in relevant position. All right, so that's P.O.C. OLDVAN drives through the parking lot of the gas station 76, drives through and exits immediately, as I stated, disengaging a P.O.C. and stops on the side of the road. I'm at Spruce and Euclid, loitering in relevant position as I'm documenting P.O.C. All right, the use of the dog is audible activity while he's loitering in relevant position, and it is 11:49 a.m. Capture for you what is the use of audible activity via a dog. State's fake sun is over my head at this property, and where the state is acting via old van. The license plate OLDVAN. Dogs barking, audible activity. State's fake sun over my head. That's P.O.C. FedEx crossing path. License 6807012. I can't really see that one. FedEx is crossing path, driving north on Euclid Avenue. That's P.O.C. All right, it is currently, I'm at Euclid Avenue and Spruce, and I have documented P.O.C. walking up this very street before. At nighttime, early in the morning, state's fake moon remaining over my head, and then remaining in the parking lot. Let me get this license plate. Crossing path as I come to the intersection, license 8MQC298, as I already documented, engaged in loitering. That's literally the stalking conduct. All right, you're group stalking when you're crossing path in relevant position. They literally engage in stalking conduct, waiting around, anticipating the presence, aware of what I'm doing, even as they're driving by. But literally when they engage in this waiting around on the side of the street, or driving in order to engage in patrolling conduct, they are literally stalking, traditional stalking, as in addition to engaging in the group stalking conduct. All right, that's P.O.C. It's currently 11:51 a.m. I want to be clear, at what is Ontario Christian Elementary School, they're monitoring, engaging in what is a satanic targeting system. License 8SHV 103, 6152782. right? Monitoring, loitering, and relevant position under the fake sun. And the third party whose face I got, he was group stalking as I stopped at to sit at the bus stop of the Omnitrans. He's just standing on the opposite side of the street in alignment to me, maintaining presence in the path. It's called group stalking. That's what he's doing. I did take a picture of him. He knows what I'm doing on my communication device, and engages in looking down numerous times to avoid having his picture being taken. I'm just giving an example of what is P.O.C. And while these group stalkers use their car, closing their car door, this is the same conduct third parties at Economy N were doing while I'm on the second floor, closing their vehicles, their trunk doors, and the state is creating impact in a room, which is absolutely impossible activity to occur while it is extraordinarily loud. All right, this is monitoring conduct that they're engaged in under the fake sun, which I'm also going to go ahead and take a picture of. It's 12:01 p.m. I'm at the Ontario Christian Elementary School. They are engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, patrolling in the parking lot, loitering in the parking lot. As I walk past this institution, they're monitoring. All right, children in tow, fake sun above the venue. I'll go ahead and get a picture of that right now. All right, license 7LUM872, license plate, systematically monitoring as they're driving in and out. Did this one come back again? 8FGB401, 7FFA454, 63969K2, 8JMT486, 8RNF671. This is 8KVS181, 8HGW987. And that was a picture that I took of the third-party group stalker in her car while I'm standing here at the Ontario Christian School, and the state's fake sun is directly over my head. That's, again, in the picture you can't see. Let me recite it so it can be published on my podcast, 8AKR451. Engaging in the same conduct that they are all engaged in. It's just this one happens to be sitting in her car in close proximity. They're in relevant position inside of the school. They are able to engage in whatever conduct that they engage in ordinarily on a day-to-day basis while they're systematically monitoring with the state. All right? Putting vehicle items in your car while you have a child nearby is in no way outside of the pattern of conduct. The state is flying over and stalking via planes over this Christian school. Okay? Do not be anyway thrown off by titles of organizations and or institutions. Okay, I was monitored at Whittier Law School. Okay, I was monitored at the Sunrise Church, engaging in what is a demonic system of criminal conduct, federal group stalking and monitoring. And this third party's license plate is being concealed. She's just holding her trunk open. I'm going to go ahead and recite it. Sitting in the parking lot, monitoring to the activity that you hear in the background. The state's fake sun is directly over me while I'm standing at this parking lot, which is an incredible occurrence. This is the absence of coincidence. P.O.C. 8BNW248. She's just loitering in a relevant position, staring at her phone with her trunk open under the fake sun. And this is a psychopath that knows that I'm documenting her. Okay? This is P.O.C. License plate 6PVT686. License plate CGY7742. And as they drive past me, this one that's holding her trunk open, she's monitoring as well. Okay? It's group conduct. 8RGL226. License plate. And directed light on the ground as this third party is driving by in this white van. EST1933. And the fake sun is over the parking lot. Okay? All right, as I've already published before, let me go ahead and get more license plates as they're patrolling. I'm walking down the street and they start to enter the parking lot. 71581R1. 7XRF099. Make sure I read the right plate. Yeah, 71581R1, yeah. This is the same school as I was walking in September of 2020. I documented this as I was leaving Economy N at nightfall, and I was walking down the street toward the museum, and I documented not only the state's fake moon, because that's not the moon that was remaining over my head as I was walking south and then north on Euclid Avenue. And I also documented at this very institution at nightfall, the state comes out of the blue, swarms, it makes a sharp turn in the sky, flies at low elevation as I'm standing on the sidewalk in front of the Ontario Christian School, the same venue right now where they're monitoring whether children are present or not. Children are a means of engaging in activity creation. Children are a means of providing a guise under which criminal activity couldn't possibly be occurring. Children children are a means of engaging in what is malicious conduct. And the age also is actually legally irrelevant when you are in relevant position, creating audible activity, visible activity, present in relevant position while the state is creating sensational activity. And this is while you are in relevant position vicariously on behalf of the entity that is stalking. And at this same school, I want to be clear, the state was group stalking and monitoring then on that night where the plane flew over from behind the side of the building of Ontario Christian Schools. I mean, Maine Sharp Sky gave a great exhibit of its stalking conduct, which I've already published on YouTube. And this is the plane that flies over me as I'm standing on the sidewalk. Very targeted conduct. And guess what? The state is monitoring me right now as well. And it is acting with these third parties that are on the grounds. 71581R1 not only crosses path as I start walking down the sidewalk, as I remain standing still on the sidewalk, engaging in creating light activity and loitering in relevant position, parking on the curb in relevant position to me in alignment. Understand, using whatever they have in their disposal, at their disposal, to engage in maintenance in the path. Acting with traffic that is patrolling, repeatedly crossing path. They're all one group acting together. I just want to recite what 71581R1 is doing with his overweight Mennonite children, okay? It's federal group stalking monitoring, it's P.O.C. They are doing so under the fake sun, and that's how you know that. It is also the absence of any coincidence where that incredible occurrence is documented. And even when the state engages in that pattern of trying to hide its light source under what are artificially engineered, clouds, the state engages in showing and concealing its light source in the sky and maintaining light at the same time. So it is P.O.C. The established use of that light source is speaking to an ongoing system that is occurring 24 hours a day on a massive scale. All right. So I'm just showing you what is the light source as I literally am walking down the street and the light source is over my head. 4GND507. Crossing path as I get to the driveway. 78902R1. Crossing path under the fake sun. 78902R1. Crossing path in the Ford. This looks like an Expedition. As I am crossing the street, crossing the driveway, and they maintain presence. Oh, I'm going to drive out the parking lot now. That's a means of getting in the path. 6WQD837. That's called meeting. That's what group stalkers do. They meet at every open space. All right. And as I stalk that group stalker that is standing on the opposite side of the street, then he goes and sits at the bus stop. All right. That's supposed to be his reason for standing in alignment to me. It really does not matter when you're in relevant position. All right. This is the crushing of every false premise that this entire system relies on. This Ontario Christian school that is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, 1907 Euclid Avenue in Ontario, California. It is currently 12:09 p.m. DDK 475, 7 FFA 454, 8 TTW 507, DBLDGD, I believe. 7JXT 484, 7BXS 723, 6BPC C76, I believe. 84770V2, 8NMM 595, 7SHP 875, 8UWJ 183. All right, and the third party creating light activity using his hazards while he is sitting at a stop sign. All right, that's not a turn signal. 49498X2. Hazards on, as I caught in the video, hazards as he crossed his path. This is P.O.C. and his vehicle is also a means of creating audible activity. It is currently 12:12 p.m. 7NKL 624. It's currently 12:21 p.m. I am at the intersection of Euclid and Locust. DJK 624. Monitoring at 1459 Euclid Avenue, South Euclid Avenue, Euclid condo homes. Group stalker loitering in relevant position at his vehicle 73216CZ. Third parties in the middle of the street holding up signs that say, "Rest in peace, Erica." Understand these are third-party group stalkers creating audible activity. This is also reasonably construed as a threat, all right? This is the absence of coincidence. The state's fake sun is directly over me. They are in relevant position under the form of seeking donations and holding up a sign that says, "Rest in peace, Erica," RIPERICA. These third parties are standing at the middle of the street at Euclid, and I want to say this is, let me see. There's a state sounding what's supposed to be like sirens. Car wash donations is what she's yelling. It's called audible activity. This is ELM, ELM in Euclid. License plate 4DGW096, 8TDA072, 6BEN 854, 7DRD 145, 25232S2, 4URY 154, RO74CO, 541 LTL. That's an out-of-state plate. All of these third parties going into Euclid condo homes at 1459 South Euclid Avenue. Okay, that's called patrolling. As I stand at the corner, it picks up an activity. That's the stalking with activity conduct that third parties engage in. All right. It is license 6JCJ236, I believe. That's a black Nissan Altima. It's 12:31 p.m. State's fake sun directly over me as I stand at Omnitrans bus stop number 6094. That's P.O.C. I did just capture video of the state flying over me while I'm sitting at Hope Chapel in a little grassy spot. I'm facing Euclid Avenue. Hope Chapel is on Euclid Avenue at Euclid and Belmont Street. And the state is flying. It makes a turn right here in relevant position, very targeted in its location. And the fact that it's flying where I'm at, that's the stalking conduct and creating audible activity while doing so. And I also got what are the third parties using their private residence and homes. They're in their home. And as I sit on the grass, right, they're not looking at me. We're not conversing, don't know them. As I'm sitting over here chilling in the grass while they're systematically monitoring, driving past on Euclid Avenue and on Belmont Street and walking past repeatedly. This is ongoing patrolling, and the state is patrolling by aircraft. They're creating noise, clapping their hands. That's called stalking with activity. They have their ongoing system in operation as I'm sitting in the grass, and the state's fake sun is directly over me as I captured in the video. It's currently 1:02 p.m. All right, I did just take more images. The state engages in flying over again as it's monitoring my phone. So the fact that I captured about 11 videos, and aware of the fact that my storage is showing that it's getting full. So the state, is the moment that I close up my phone and put it in my pocket after it's showing this prompt, engaging in repeating that activity. Not only is this stalking, I've already established the state's pattern of conduct. The state engages in conduct when it's seeking to, or when it's under some impression that it's going to get away with it. For example, my phone is full. She can't catch video of this. I'm going to go ahead and fly again. And by the way, you're also looking at the frequency. I just captured the video at 1 p.m., less than 90 seconds later, flying another plane in the same position. And I want to be clear, the state remains present. The sound of the plane, this is the state artificially engineering plane activity. This is why you don't hear it. Then at the moment that they are turning in relevant position right where they want to be in position to me, then they create the plane activity. That's what the state does while I'm in the room, as I've shown, where they are at a specific location, then they create that plane activity, which is heard in the room. The third parties are walking past while I am sitting in the grass area with the light source directly over my head as I'm sitting on the grass, and the state is engaged in this conduct. I just want to be clear with the context of what they're doing, the ongoing knowledge which is occurring when you're monitoring, but I'm just breaking it down for you. As I go to put my phone in my pocket after that prompt comes up, another plane. You're looking at the frequency with which they're doing it, the knowledge, the state of mind that they have while they're doing it, and they're doing it in concert with the people of the state. Walking past me is the same as flying past me, flying over me. Loitering in relevant position in your home, loitering in relevant position in your car or in some other person's car or in a commercial vehicle is the same conduct. It's vicarious conduct and direct conduct. This is the entity engaged in monitoring. It is currently 1:06 p.m. That's P.O.C. 1:11 p.m. Southwest Airlines flies on my opposite side. I did take a picture of the state's light source right above my head, right over my person, straight above me, and Southwest Airlines, which flies on the right side and flies west over this Hope Chapel, where I am, Euclid School at 1120 Euclid Avenue, and this is audible activity that the state's creating as it flies on this opposite side of me. This is P.O.C, third-party group stalker crosses path on a bike. This is the same conduct as being in a car, engaging in that same conduct. It's currently 1:11 p.m. That's P.O.C, and that's what I took in pictures. Helicopter activity. Oh, it sounds like a helicopter. It's flying right over my head. It's not a helicopter. It's a white plane with long wings. It's 1:13 p.m. Flying very rapidly. I'm going to go ahead and get a picture. All right, it is the same day. It's May 1st, 2021. It's 1:14 p.m. And as I captured the state using a small plane flying south directly over where I am laying under a tree, and the state's fake sun directly over my person as I'm laying under this tree, and the state is amplifying the sound of that plane as it flew directly over me, and I took a picture of it. It was flying very fast. I did get up and take a picture of that, and then seconds later that activity goes to the train activity. So the state is amplifying the sound of what is another method of activity creation, which is supposed to be the train. I want to be clear, Amazon Prime also crossing path with the creation of this ongoing activity under the incredible circumstance of the light source that is the fake sun directly over my person, which again is impossible to coexist where you are, where I've been documenting it. And again, isolating P.O.C to Economy Inn at 2301 South Euclid Avenue is merely the template for showing what the state is doing everywhere. I have already established this. Day by day of the state's stalking with this light source, demonstrating what the people of the state of California are doing in concert with the state that is already established as the stalker that it is, stalking by police, fire, and ambulance, planes, and helicopters. And so what I'm pointing out is the common sense aspect. If the state's fake sun is physically present over my person here at the intersection of Belmont and Euclid, I would not be able to capture it directly over my room, physically over the roof, squarely above where I am standing as I exit the room, as I'm in the parking lot capturing group stalkers in the parking lot of 2301 South Euclid Avenue. And it is also that which is directly over me at every other address where I've documented the state's P.O.C, being over 706 West Holt Boulevard, Starbucks, creating light activity in that venue, which is supposed to be based on some sun. That's not the sun that's remaining over that venue, as I was present at that venue, as I documented in 2019. Into 2020 at 646 West Holt Boulevard, over the entrance doors of Stater Brothers in the parking lot, while I am standing there at all times of the day, not only in the morning, in the afternoon, and well into going into the evening time, where the state has been engaged in feigning as though the sun is setting right here into the building, into the store, reaching into the aisles with what is supposed to be sunlight. That's called directed light, while the state keeps its fake sun, that light source, over. I've documented the state being over the Chinese food restaurant, remaining at a very precise location. Not only is the state's fake sun direct in its position above me, it's very specific where it's located. It's over an edge of a building. That's very specific as I move from place to place, being over the opposite end of the parking lot and at a totally different vantage point, while I'm standing at Coin Laundry in that same Ontario Village shopping center. I've documented this already. Group stalker JKD277, that looks like a Florida license plate. They're maintaining relevant positioning as I am using a different application. They're engaging in exiting their cars. This is group stalking conduct, and the state's fake sun is directly over me while they are parking their car, which is a means of patrolling and a means of loitering in relevant position. So I want to be clear, this is very specific. Not only is the state's fake sun over Economy Inn, it's over the edge of the top of the roof where I am standing. That's very specific and very exact and precise with regards to its location. So it's not a general, oh, well, it's over the general vicinity. No, it's very precise where I'm capturing it, and it is relative to right where I am located, even as I move around in that parking lot. This is that which is impossible to coexist as I'm walking down the street, and it remains there. Again, as I shown, while I'm inside of the room of that venue, it remains there, even engaging in providing documentation of what is supposed to be the sun setting and aiming light onto that same venue. You are not doing that while you are also setting and aiming light inside of the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library, inside of Mercy House at 435 South Bonneview, inside of what is the third-party facilitating venue of, as I documented, Starbucks, and this is that which is mutually exclusive, and this is based on where I am located at the time and the state's light sources there, while you have the ongoing incredible occurrence of what is the ongoing presence of planes and helicopters where I happen to be. That is what the people of the state of California are engaged in, and it is speaking to that which is occurring on a ceaseless basis, not only during daytime where the state is using this light source to stalk and follow and molest, all right? And you are engaged in that sexual violence in your private vehicle, in your private residence, in your public business establishment, in your commercial vehicle, and this is that which the people of the state engage in on a ceaseless basis with that public entity, the state of California. It's currently 1:19 p.m. and that is documentation of the state's fake sun directly over me as on May 1st, as I have left for 2301 South Euclid Avenue, and that isolated documentation to Economy Inn. It's not isolated insofar as it is the entirety of what is the ongoing documentation of the entity. All right, you're looking at what the state does with its light source, speaking to directly what every third party that I continue to individually identify by license plate, regardless of the fact that they seek to engage in criminal obstruction of justice, either trying to cover up their license plate or put on a license plate that doesn't actually belong on that vehicle, and to falsely identify or to evade being identified. It isn't no way evasion whatsoever. This is being attributed to that public entity that's being systematically documented as it is systematically monitoring me. And you're seeing the ways in which that the government does so. That is the ongoing stalking directly over me while I am leaving that venue, walking north of Euclid Avenue, where the state's fake sun at 7 a.m. in the morning is over the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. And at 7 a.m. in the morning, I'm capturing it directly over the venue of 2301 South Euclid Avenue. And at 7 in the morning, it's directly over me while I'm at 435 South Bonneview. That's Mercy House. And it is remaining present everywhere that I am going. And this is including if I travel outside of this county. Okay, this is not just Ontario. Understand, when you're being monitored, when the government is monitoring, it is a fishbowl. So this is the light source that's going to be present everywhere you're at. The state is going to be stalking by planes and helicopters everywhere that you're at. And this is in no way the provision of some sort of alternate universe, where planes happen to be engaging in freeway traffic in the sky space, just like cars are doing everywhere. This is what the state would like to try to establish. It is a pattern of conduct, and it is statutorily described as stalking, where you also have the state engaging in that use of light. This is the combination of all of those facts. It is not you're not individualizing. You are analyzing it not in a vacuum, but under the totality of circumstances. That's federal group stalking and monitoring. And it is 1:21 p.m. and I just want to be clear on that. The state targeting its location with its planes, using its planes to fly over me, and commercial planes and smaller planes flying directly where I am at, creating that amplified plane activity while it is keeping its light source directly over my person where I go. And that's what the state was doing at Economy Inn. And again, aiming light into Grocery Outlet, which is next door to Economy Inn. But you are remaining there for the duration of the day in order to engage in that conduct. I'm visibly looking at what is supposed to be the sun. This is not the sun, not only because of the fact that it's a scientific fact that the actual sun is not over any of those addresses physically. All right. This does not mean that it's not daytime because you don't see the sun physically above you. That's not what that means. And that's what the conduct the state is engaging in. That's not what that means. It also is not the sun based on the fact that it is remaining over the same address for the duration of an entire day. Okay, this is the stalking conduct by the state that's remaining for the duration of an entire day, and stalking with its light source for the duration of an entire day. That's what that is. And also engaging and following me. And so you are present, aiming light inside of Grocery Outlet into the evening, and yet over me here at Belmont and Euclid Avenue, how are you going to be able to set set your sun such that it's so low that it's aiming inside of the doors of grocery outlet, by the way, which is also impossible light activity. And every other venue where I've documented the state engaging at doing nothing but changing the color of its directed light and keeping its light source in the sky, engaging in nothing but illusion with the appearance of what's supposed to be a fake sun after it remains for the duration of a day over a particular location where I am. All right. This is P.O.C. And then at night you have what is supposed to be a fake moon in the same location where the fake sun is during the day. That's P.O.C. All right. It is currently 1:23 p.m. and I remain subject to that monitoring conduct. And as I'm walking north of Euclid Avenue, I want to get license plate W970S0 4J0L488. And again, that's a Florida license plate, I believe, JKO277. That is P.O.C. (7KQ277), the one that I recited with the Florida license plate that parked right here in front of me where I remain at Belmont and Euclid. That is the third character looks like either an O or a D or a Q. So that's why I said JKQ or JKO277. It is a Florida plate. It was driven by a male, perhaps Caucasian or Latino, and he has a female on his passenger side. And they were parked right here in relevant position, getting out, going to someone's house, whatever they're doing while they're in relevant position. Driving off approximately, I would say about 3 minutes ago. It's 1:41 p.m. right now. I just wanted to make sure I'm clear on that. The license plate is a Florida plate. It is a dark gray SUV, and parked right here, right next to me, where I'm in front of 1123, well, not in front of, I'm beside, I'm adjacent to 1123, the private residence on the opposite side of the Hope Chapel. And I took a picture of the third parties that are sitting in relevant position, creating audible activity and using their home, their private residence, to do so to monitor with the state that's flying directly over me, flying on both sides of me by aircraft. And the state's fake sun is directly over me. So I just want to be clear. I want to make sure I get that license plate is Florida. It's either JKQ or JKO, perhaps JKD, but I think it appears to me as like a box. So JKQ, JKO 277. It's 1:42 p.m. All right, this is not to in any way suggest that these third parties are acting alone. I'm merely identifying those that are visibly present as I encounter them. These third parties at 119, so that will probably 1119. Looks like a Latino family. They are in relevant position and creating audible activity while I was sitting here under the tree. Understand everything that is created audibly, visibly, as pertaining to light, as well as pursuant to the state's activity creation, is that which is serving that criminal system, period. And it is also, as I've shown, the people of the state engage in a deliberate behavioral pattern, which is also speaking to the intent. And it is P.O.C. It is currently 1:44 p.m. 8 AUK 642, 6YJ 356, 8JYE 993, 8RSP 743, 6AVD 383. It's P.O.C. I'm leaving from sitting under the tree at Hope Chapel at the corner of Belmont and Euclid Avenue, and I'm continuing to walk north now on Euclid Avenue. WWF 976, 6ZEK 738, 7KKP 646, 8UFK 026. Loitering in relevant position in the middle of the street using their car. I'm at what is Euclid and Ralston, and the state's light source remains over me, so the state is creating ongoing. I'm hushing up because that's the use of the sound of a train. State amplifies audible activity. All right, that's P.O.C. License plate 8RSP 743. All right, as they sit in the middle of the street with their car, That's a means of crossing path as I cross the street. That's group stalking. All right, and I'm just identifying that one actor. And the state is creating the sound of what is supposed to be the train as I'm walking in that different direction. The state's light source directly above my head at Ralston and Euclid. And by the way, that's the same train that the state created audible activity while I was living inside of the car at Fern and G Street, which is not going to be heard at that location either. The state used that creation of the sound of a train while I was inside of the private residence of Woodside Senior Apartments at 408 West G Street. It's not going to be heard at that location either. Also used while I was, you can hear it in my podcast and in the videos that I captured while I was living in my car at Vine and G Street, which you are not going to hear that as well. This is the state engaging in that same conduct. Whether you are actually near a train or where you are nowhere near where it would ever be heard, the same entity is using what is audible activity. All right? It's P.O.C. I want to get these third parties. 19749W2, 5AKK332. 4TRX 675. 6EQT 805. 3434161. 7HOE 237. 4JIU 471. 6NGE 803. 7ULU 492. 8FXH 938. 5COA 316. 7G 96186. 7TLV 122. 8NLG 374. 7YDX 280. 2WQW 845. 8BHE 560. 6GSP 967. That's a Ford Explorer. Looks like it's coming from a dealership with no plates on it and paper, using it to monitor from a Ford Explorer. It's a Ford Explorer from a Ford dealership, or from a car dealership. That is 88413J2. This is plane activity right where I stand. P.O.C. flying very rapidly in the sky. There you go. Where'd it go? Oh, coming and flying and making a sharp turn, trying to avoid me taking a picture of it. It's flying right over. I'm standing at 1059 Euclid Avenue. This is private 1021 Euclid Avenue. Flying over those homes and making a turn, doing nothing but engaging in relevant position activity creation while I'm documenting third parties in traffic. 8SSY492, 5TPS 880, 8VSE 706, 5VWG029. That's audible activity, and the state is creating plane activity. That's concerted conduct. Flying again, directly over, that's Delta Airlines. Doesn't want me to get the third parties. 6SBP935. That's Delta Airlines that you can hear. STGBPM 7JZH091 4VQF303 33684U2. Understand the conduct. 8SGP736. Let me break that down, what they're doing. Okay, this is engagement in the criminal elements of monitoring. The state's fake sun is directly over my head, also indicative of that. The frequency with which the state is using planes to fly over my head over this private residence. The group stalkers that are standing on the corners in relevant position are engaged in monitoring with the traffic that I'm reading their license plates. Also understand, the entity that's monitoring knows that I'm documenting their license plate, so the state's engaging in flying over because it would rather me focus on that than getting these third-party license plates. Understand the significance of that. 7BHV297, 8D92629, 34639K2. Understand the significance of that, okay? It is currently 1:51 p.m. That was Delta Airlines flying directly over my head. I am standing in front of 1021 South Euclid Avenue, flying over this house, making a sharp turn. That was the first plane that I caught a picture of, or attempted to catch a picture of. And then the second plane, Delta Airlines, flying directly over the street, flying west, right where I'm standing at the same residence. This is 8NCU 972. 8URX 813, and understand why, because the state would rather me get the plane than get the license plates. 8CIG 328, this is what Amazon Prime was engaged in. 8EKJ 582. 8DIG260, 4HSE204, 8SFC814, 8UJE670, 7MER199. And also, the fact that I'm standing in shade, this is also making up for that lack of light that's really molesting me right now as I'm standing under a tree, which the state engages in invading any sort of shade. But it also creates an upping the volume of audible activity, 7RUF477, pursuant to that. So all of this is relevant what the state is doing. 7THW336, 7JWM133, 7HCG659, 8TVN341, BJ55, J01, I believe, that's paper plate, 7P29433, 8MPL888, 8EVN877, 7AWF672, 8MZM250, VO77LO, 5JHM622, 6NUP274. It's currently, let's see, 1:53 p.m. This is a group stalker crossing path under the fake sun where the state is stalking by planes and helicopters. And if he's not an American citizen, he ought to be deported, engaging in absolutely un-American conduct. A psychopath, that is a sex offender, and also engaging in that which is targeting an American citizen while acting like they are doing something else. And the entirety of their criminal system has been thoroughly broken down. License 8CVT269, 7BRJ921, 7NWT462, 8MEB986, 7XRF099, 71581R1, 5XXR486, 61527A2, 88907C2. And this is 7AVF355, 8JDW770, M536AO. I also want to show you this. This is passive-aggressive stalking conduct. This group stalker just standing on the corner with his back toward me, and he's monitoring with a communication device under the fake sun. That's what psychopaths do, that know that they're being documented as well. 5TRS170. This is 6UKJ605, 7W24400, I believe. It is currently 1:54 p.m. License plate 6XCX825, 8SAD27, substantial summary TRUL, heart YA, truly love you, I guess. 8S57324, 840XE handicap, 8RDV621, 6GLU521, 7EFV833, substantial summary, I can't see it, 7XDF765, 7FAH798, 70944V2, 7RHT289, 7AQV910, 8TDP871, 64198R1, Galvanland Transport, license 4NU6974 is on the back of that truck, 7FYD540, 7DFD739, license AP10995, 55936L1, 6EE5400, 6FTB920. That's a different license plate. And at the residence where the state's flying over in two planes, as I'm standing here, using their vehicle to engage in crossing a path, state's fake sun over that residence, 8NKA246. All right. License plates of all of their vehicles parked on this property because they're monitoring and just engaged in an affirmative act of that monitoring, even though they don't even have to. You can literally recite where you're at, and they're all engaged in the group conduct. 6TTW911, 8NTR213, 8HLJ616. Looks like 6TD. 621, it's a black Scion, substantially somewhere. She's outside in relevant position under the fake sun, washing her car is her form of being present. 72753B2. This is 1021 Euclid Avenue, and the state was flying over this house in order to engage in relevant position. Flying over once, making a sharp turn in the sky, literally flying in a circle. Seconds later, flying over me again, flying west over Euclid Avenue in a Delta Airlines plane. 5WEG 385 is another license plate, and this is P.O.C. Again, that's at 1021 Euclid Avenue. Acting with this is the same group. Stalking, standing on the corner. I took a picture of him. All right. Stalking, walking past me. They're all acting together. Stalking while they're driving past. 7PXK011, 8BUZ 803, 8MVM 079, 8MAD 926, 8L59233. 7H43985, 7VEX574, 5HRF115, 7511, 871. That's a paper plate, 4X33A72, 8GZV696, 5ZJX500, 6MSW339, 7S80341, 7PXV259. It's currently 1:55 p.m. 6ZAE026, 6NXU227, 5TPZ599, 8KVY629, 6KZM807, 8HLK258, 6NES172, 7FBH393. All right, so you want to be clear. What are you getting as I go step by step? The state was flying over the chapel where I was standing at, where I was at Belmont and Euclid in the grass. State fake sun over me there. State's fake sun is not over there at that chapel anymore, over that tree where I was sitting under. State's right now flying over, not over that chapel, flying directly over 1021 where I was at in a Delta Airlines plane, and the second plane that turned right where I am at in relevant position, as though it is flying over Ralston in the sky. Ralston is right here to my left. In other words, as I'm standing on Euclid facing west, Ralston is south of me, feet away, all right, where that group stalker is standing at the corner, facing south, engaging in group stalking conduct. That's the picture that I took, representing the people, revving his engine as I move. 2071982, I believe, substantially somewhere. It's an Idaho plate on a white pickup truck. It's a Dodge truck, monitoring, using the car to do so. Understand that. The simultaneity with which he engages in that conduct. That's P.O.C. I'm going to go ahead and take a picture so you can see. The state's fake sun is directly over my head. As I already captured in the screenshot, but... All right, I go ahead and just aim my camera up, and as I'm standing, actually, let me take a picture of the residence as well. 1021 Euclid Avenue. That's where the state's fake sun is, no longer over me, as over my person, directly above me, while the state was flying planes over there. This is 3G&J Transport. That's a truck, that's a business. 8BVK847. 8FRN623, 6JKY719, 5 looks like XNK513, 4KIL274, 4SWY98B or 988, 4464 5V2, 7JIV541. It is currently 2:01 p.m. And the state's fake sun, again, being directly over me where I stand at 1021 Euclid Avenue, is in no way possible to coexist with the state's fake sun, which day by day remain directly over 2301 South Euclid Avenue. This is the ongoing migration necessarily, so I would not have been able to capture it day by day directly over the roof of my room, directly over the property at 7 in the morning, directly over the property in the afternoon, remaining for the duration of the day. This is as I'm walking north of Euclid Avenue. This is P.O.C. 6KPD242. 6KPD424, excuse me. 8KHP810. 6WZT709, 6PDV429, 8GIH672, 7TFE218, 8FHR283, 6ZNF 726, just monitoring on the run. That's why the state keeps its light source over my head. The ability for them to monitor with light, which is central to that. All right, already established, showing the ongoing occurrence of that using third-party group stalkers. As I leave my property on the sidewalk, a group stalker will cross path on the sidewalk to make sure that I and my property remain surrounded. That's what this is. It's P.O.C. License plate 7AXD641 6AMF013 8LDR440 7MPF119 79772G2 8VEC295 Vitco Foods. All right, and this third-party group stalker, that's what you hear right next to me. He's literally just going back and forth with the trailer, was using the curb, going up the curb and down the curb and up the curb and down the curb, which is the demonic pacing back and forth, and he leaves off of the sidewalk as I recite him engaging and walking on the sidewalk. That's the abysmal failure that the state engages in. This is a state actor. He's in the shoes of the state in relevant position under the fake sun, and he is creating what is noise, and he is also engaging in activity creation and trying to contradict what I'm documenting him engaged in. Walking from the sidewalk onto the street right next to me for no reason whatsoever other than to engage in P.O.C. And even if he engaged in it in a manner that looked like he had a purpose, it's still P.O.C. Understand that. 8 UKR 430 8 JSB 533 7 VXE 240 6 XHA 679 4 VGC 203 6 GOP 189 8D40613 Y97GAT, that's a Florida plate, on a red Lancer. EYECYU 7GZK306 8P15922 29165F1, coming close to cross path with light. CVJ9249, driving in what is not a lane. All right, that's that accurate. That license plate I just read. 8MQN766 4 BRB 335 8 FOD 915 8 GH. I can't really see that, but you can scratch that one. This is 8BXJ979 8GJA470 7ZGL611 7E U.C. 364 7ALF 092. It is currently 2:04 p.m. and the state's light source directly over me as I stand at 1021. All right, you've got the planes flying over right where I'm standing, the state's light source over me right where I am standing, and the third parties that are maintaining presence, crossing a path under those circumstances, monitoring with the state. This is the documentation of the people of the state of California identifying individual actors of one group. All right, this same group engaged in sexual violence, monitoring me while I'm inside of the private space of the room. And Amazon Prime, again, license plate 01737X2, engaging in that sexual violence, 01735X2, Amazon Prime. This is Discount Services, license 758038, license plate 76100W2. All right, it is the same use of the hallmarks in order to monitor. Amazon Prime, creating audible activity, playing music. I just took a picture of the state's fake sun right now and the picture of Amazon Prime. Understand, they are acting with the same group. It doesn't matter what type of vehicle you are in. Amazon is doing it as a commercial actor, license 7HDF342. Want to make sure I get that. And understand that this is the way in which a public entity monitors you. And there is no claim for some legitimate purpose where the government is monitoring. That is the operation of the monitoring system. They're monitoring with communication devices, and they are engaged in sexual violence in doing so, irrespective of their use of a company brand. What will occur is 6NLV468 is that brand shall be identified as the group stalker that it is, acting with the government to monitor American citizens, presenting and engaging in substantial harm to American citizens, sexually violating American citizens, engaged in federal level harassment harassment, and threatening American citizens using that brand, engaging in the same criminal elements, okay? That's what Amazon is providing the example of, and this is how federal law shall operate, and it is the provision of a template. This is how I.I.S. federal legislation shall work. 7LDN 116, 7KIC 988, 7TKG 678. And also, the fact that they are monitoring with communication devices is also that which is applicable to existing federal law. 18 U.S.C. Section 2261A, subsections 1 and subsections 2. Let me be clear, because the, Amazon Prime is also monitoring with communication devices in violation of existing federal law, but also that which shall be enforced against law that I advocate and have specifically designed because of this demonic feature that is the ways in which a public entity monitors and the ways in which they engage in what is symbolic threatening conduct while they're monitoring you, all right? The ways in which they are engaged in an entirely comprehensively corrupt system that is all under those same remaining facts of monitoring with communication devices everywhere that you go and any third party or state facilitating venue. 8 TBG 124, 6RMM 433. The third-party group stalking at the corner, now getting in a car, license 8 UKL 044. All right, now leaving in from relevant position, group stalking the entire time with his back to me, monitoring. It doesn't matter how you're facing while you're in relevant position. That was P.O.C. and he got in that car with that license. 8 TTW 507, 4 NIC 040. VJACS. It is currently 2:08 p.m. This is audible activity. This is light activity. And this is relevant positioning. 5CQS 888. All right, this is Amazon Prime crossing path by driving down Ralston. All right, creating light activity in doing so. P.O.C. It's currently 2:08 p.m. This is license plate 8JEP 305, 7BHA 746. This is license plate 5ZGT 189. KXE 230. Those are sirens in the background, audible activity. 8JHZ 407, 8LJY 700, 8GWZ 655, 7MNA 682, 8LSF 096, 8GQM 328, 6POC 846, 8KRP 089 or 809, excuse me. And that's audible activity that the state is creating while they're crossing paths. 4 WKP 063, 8 RFY 929, 5A 0N 004. This is 2 SKM 506, 7 TTP 585. All right, you want to understand also the absence of coincidence by, let's go to the specific actor, Amazon Prime, for example, readily identifiable, 7ZKU881, engaging in crossing path at the same street where I'm located, grouping at the gas station right in front of me where I'm located. That's Ontario Fire Department crossing path, driving driving east at Mission. Amplification of their sirens, okay? Sirens starting and stopping, sirens as they cross path with lights on their vehicle, sirens stopping as they cross me, specifically at Euclid Avenue. That's P.O.C. That's the Ontario Fire Department being documented engaged in the group stalking and monitoring, criminal harassment and threatening, seeking to also distract me from documenting third-party group stalkers, all right? That's what also the state is engaged in. And even in Amazon Prime wants me to stop identifying them by a license plate. 7RYA385, 7FSH027, 7XQG241, I believe. 6GXF 482, 7SRF 454, GTJ 7798, that's a Texas plate, 7NKL 624, 6CRF 489, Let me be clear, what you listen to the Ontario Fire Department engaging in, that's what they were doing, that's what they continuously do, including inside of the private space where this entity maintains awareness of what I am doing, not only physically, but on my communication device. So, for example, as I publish something extraordinarily damning about the pattern of conduct, for example, about that which they don't want to be exposed about the Ontario Police Department, for example, sirens will immediately start sounding, engaging in trying to distract from, which is harassment, while you're continuously monitoring. And so those sirens will sound, just like you heard, sound for a couple of seconds and then stop. And it's amplified necessarily inside of the room, and it is occurring also with simultaneity to what I'm doing on my communication device. What I am doing here is documenting the state engages in creating that siren, which is audible activity, while they, the people, are monitoring, systematically crossing paths, patrolling via traffic. That's what the state is doing. I'm outside so you can hear it. When I'm in the room, they're doing the exact same thing at all hours, 24 hours a day, using sirens, sounding them for 2 seconds, which I have also identified as the state's engagement in that conduct, and intentionally does that not only to monitor, but also to engage in some sort of distraction while it's monitoring me, publishing my documentation. That's the sort of conduct that this entity engages in, analogous to flying over my head in 2 planes, seconds apart, as I am reading the license plates, okay? That's the purpose. 7 PNV 232. It serves a criminal multi-purpose. It is 2:12 p.m. UKX 563, 6EW, or 6EXW 643, I believe. 8N6638, substantially similar. Can we say that? 8TFW 297, that was correct. 8MVA 098, 1DTR 1SN, 8FWE 911, 5RJB 925, J433SO, 8DLJ 163, 96748. T2, 6XKX 655. All right, and understand traffic is not only patrolling, the state uses and third parties intentionally engage in the buildup of traffic in order to maintain relevant positioning, okay? In the same way that a third party group stalker engages in walking past, it is serving that criminal engagement in relevant positioning. As I leave any property, as I engage in change of activity, meaning if I stop walking as opposed to continuously walking, that's what third parties are doing on foot, group stalking as you saw in the corner. You can face me, you can keep your back to me, it's relevant positioning, it is group stalking conduct under all the same facts, and that's what I captured. It is currently 2:14 p.m. I want to get 8T36091, 2637111, I believe. 6FOY 009, 88529G2. That's a commercial vehicle. 8SHC 496, 7UJM 743. BL61A19, that's a paper plate. 6JPV 721, 6WBN 839, 7LXS 580, 8TMM 665. All right, and it is, again, like I stated, it is 2:14 p.m. That's P.O.C. Uh, 26593E3. It's 2:17 p.m. Maitland and Euclid Avenue. Six HEY 119. 6SOV 566. Motorcycle, intentionally creating audible activity as I recite those third parties that are monitoring with it. And I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of the state's fake sun that's directly over me at Mission and Euclid Avenue. Honking the horn and stalking with activity. I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of the intersection right now where I am at. This is where Ontario Fire Department was crossing paths with lights. The use of the car alarm is creation of activity as I engage in using my camera. They are crossing path. This is 8 BMC 982, 6822A3, 6822A3, A as in apple, 7EZT 617. That's audible activity via the sound of a train. And the state's fake sun as I just captured directly over me. This is P.O.C. 8BEZ 361. Gavilan Transport U.S. I can't really see that U.S. number, but license 4PY765 5VVZ 021-8UOE088 BL09 K56 paper plate, 8SMT 472, 8UHT 549, 7JKV 815, I believe, substantially similar to that. 7YPB 783, creating light activity while the state is creating ongoing activity via train, and their traffic, their mere patrolling is creating audible activity as well. This is P.O.C. 7ADY203. And again, as I've already shown before, the state's fake sun is directly over my head, and this is the same location where the state was patrolling over me by a helicopter as I was reciting third-party license plates. Recall that. 7GKB412. Amazon Prime crossing path again. That is 8U79823. 7XJJ845. 7TLZ535. 5FIM531. It is 5PFR164, 7VXR430, 7MVA680, 8FAP264, 8CJN358, 8SLX426, 6XJU862, 6VGG873, 6JZH965, 8UGW409. All right, and again, it is currently, while I am literally reading these license plates, the state's light source is in tow. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a picture of that, speaking to what they're all engaged in. And this is demonic conduct. Understand that? The significance is not only criminal, this is straight up Satan operating over a people. That's the relevant context, okay? It is 2:22 p.m. and this is systematic monitoring through traffic, all right? Psychopaths, they're all listening to me while they're just driving past, and the state's creating activity and they're creating activity. They're all monitoring. 6JZH965, 43575D3, 7ZXX441, 8B57989, 98029K2, 7VLK926, 6YIY523. All right, and that is the license plates of third parties where I'm at Mission and Euclid, and they're all monitoring, okay? Everything you're hearing, the sound of traffic, the use of their honking their horns, it's all intentional conduct, okay? This is P.O.C. And I am continuing walking north. The nearest address I see, I've already documented this before, 805 at Jim's Burgers. I'm looking at Carlton Street. I'm at the main intersection of Mission and Euclid, and Amazon Prime literally just patrolling in its vehicles, repeatedly crossing path. So as I stated, Amazon Prime crossing path, they were driving west on Mission. No, I'm sorry, they were driving north on Euclid Avenue, and then makes a U-turn to turn onto what is Euclid again. All right, so I'm looking at them now, and they were engaged in turning from Euclid back down to drive south on turning from Mission to turn south onto Euclid Avenue. They're just patrolling and constantly engaging in monitoring conduct, and also making that brand known as engaging in the P.O.C. while they're monitoring the documentation about their engagement in the P.O.C. That's the state's conduct. That's that demonic aspect while they're criminally monitoring it, okay? That's that demonic hostility. Understand that. MAMSEY. It's demonic conduct, right? That is illustrative, and that is that which is shared by anyone that I document, especially as I went on to document the entity acting vicariously through what are companies and businesses. This is how they are engaging in expression of the hostility. License plate 6UHY734, 6SQS831, CTR9570, Arizona, 7JV550, essentially somewhere, I think I missed the character there, 7MCF924, 8CLK545. All right, Amazon Prime coming again, driving north on Euclid Avenue right now. And again, this is no different than you have what were 12 to 13 Amazon Prime vehicles. Ontario Fire Department on the opposite side, turning north onto Euclid Avenue right now. It is currently 2:25 p.m. Amazon Prime on the opposite side, okay? That is P.O.C. And I'm taking pictures of what is the fire department on the opposite side. Understand that's the same as the state flying over me by airplane. Activity is ongoing. The state is acting directly, crossing path in that parking lot, driving north on Euclid. License 5AFX469. And Amazon Prime, I'm just identifying them. They're readily identifiable. They are the same group acting together as one. As I'm identifying them individually, identifying Amazon Prime as the company is analogous to identifying individually. It's a commercial actor. Driven by the people of the state. Amazon Prime license 81171E3. This is 6ENE847, 7SEC970, 8VKC808, ONE4GLO, 8CPZ737, 6FDX760, 3589X, handicap, 8MXL371, 8RTL658, 7YMN092, excuse me, 092, 7RQL999, license 5UNW883. All right, this is more crossing path. Understand, while they're sitting still at the light, they're monitoring with those who are crossing path as I read their plates. They're all acting at the same time. 8BMY090, 77604D3, 7HZR697, 8EZN150, 7BNJ083, 6TJV480, I believe. I can't really see that clear. 8FQR838, 5NMN901. That's 5NMN. 5SNW567. You have PRUITT1, 8YO8808. All right, and I also wanted to note the incredible, that is the directed light appearing onto the curb on the opposite side of the car. You've got the state's fake sun over the intersection, but the state is also directing light as they're crossing path, including while Amazon Prime is driving past, and possible light activity. That's the state's directed light on the asphalt while they're crossing path, okay? That is also the communication of a threat while you're monitoring an American citizen who also happens to be aware of it, and it's documenting that criminal conduct. Everything is speaking to, I'm still monitoring you, I'm still present, and I'm going to continue while you're documenting. I know you're documenting. That's a threat by a government. License plate 88510Y2, 7GBT082, 4YIH875, 4CFP954, 02916X2, 8KNX101, 7CVM750, 5MJ382, substantial summer, 7VOM075, I believe, 8KEW757, 7WTP230, 8QN, I believe, 129. Can't really see all that clearly, but driving north past me on Euclid Avenue. That activity creation and light activity creation is providing monitoring ability. They're more engaging in the ability to more effectively monitor as that activity creation as they're sitting even stationary at the lights. They're all monitoring at the same time. Okay? That is P.O.C. It is currently 2:28 p.m. And I did capture the state's light source, which is also speaking to what they are engaged in. That is also the direct evidence of that. In addition, I'm narrating in real time how the state is engaging in the creation of light activity using directed light. All right, they're group stalking on the sidewalk, standing in the path. They're group stalking while they are inside of any business as I'm walking past. This is a systematic monitoring system, and this is how you remain subject. This is how the entity acts, and doing so as Amazon Prime is providing yet another vivid illustration of not acting alone. This is the same thing FedEx has been documented, UPS has been documented, U.S.PS has been documented, as Walmart engaging in the P.O.C. not only today, using a vehicle with the brand name Walmart. Understand that's an intentional communication of that threat, the means whereby that entity is acting 5DNF156 and seeking, with its knowledge that I'm documenting them by identifying their brands or their companies, so they'll drive by using those brands and or companies and in order to engage in monitoring. And it is also in no way limiting what will be federal legislation enforced against it for that which is not addressed by federal law, how a government monitors. Texas plate 8TJ7798, crossing path again, 8UHA919, 38124R1, paper AC29L10, I believe, substantial summer. It's a paper plate anyway, trying to obstruct me, but 7LO2153, 7TAN406. I'm gonna get these group stalkers at Jim's Burgers in the parking lot, creating audible activity right behind me where I'm standing. Let's see, we've got 7HNG451, 6XYA926. Omnitrans, Route 83, driving north on Euclid Avenue, pursuant to its schedule, monitoring with the state systematically. 8L-WG597-01635K2. This is 7XZY711. 6WNH231. License plate 8S12787, 5HUC533. All right, and it is currently, what time is it? 2:31 p.m. So I just want to go ahead and capture the presence of a commercial actor, that's Omnitrans. Presence of a commercial actor, that's Target. All right, using a vehicle with that brand on it, irrespective of whether it is actually the Target company or not. These are third parties that know that they're being documented. All of this is relevant to the creation of policy. Understand that, all right? So you've got, for example, Amazon Prime driving a Hertz vehicle. They know that they're being documented, all right? So that is going to be relevant. License of Omni 1302442, bus number 2356. License plate 8PZP134. License 6PDL566. License 8HPF689. License 7MNZ319. 7SGW659. 8NMY780. 54615N2. 7FKM425. TOR, 3 characters on that license plate, that's it. License 35166J1, all right? And irrespective of any claim as to ignorance or the lack of intent to drive a vehicle in order to subvert being documented, I want to be clear, engagement in the criminal elements of monitoring is engagement in the criminal elements of monitoring. It is also criminal facilitation, enabling a government to monitor because they are present on behalf of that entity that is engaged in that pattern of conduct. And so my identification of a brand based on the vehicle that is being used is reasonably relied upon where they are engaging in those criminal elements. And you're talking about the entity that is monitoring, and based on the nature of that crime is also aware of the fact that they are being identified. This is the absence of coincidence where you have what is the commercial actor Amazon, the people of the state using that brand, that company, and also using other vehicles, in no way contradicting what is to be equally applied, liberally and equally applied federal legislation, and that which is still in violation of existing federal law. The people of the state are the ones operating that vehicle, and it is my intention under federal legislation to be created and enforced that also that company name, that brand, shall also be readily identified as a group stalker, monitoring American citizens, engaged in the same sexual violence. Because you are in a company vehicle, because you are under a brand, is in no way any means to engage in being evaded or not attributed that same criminal conduct, all right? You're making business, you're representing yourself as supposed to be something benefiting, especially American society, and you are not. You're engaged in and documented, affirmatively, engaging in criminal conduct in concert with that entity, and intentionally so, which is what Amazon is demonstrating today. But again, this is the pattern of conduct as the entity as a whole, demonstrating today while they are engaging in repeated crossing of path, all right? This is P.O.C. I want to get the license plates of these third parties in this parking lot. 5RXT134, 6GZV836, Amazon Prime group stalking in the parking lot in the vehicle, under the fake sun in the 7-Eleven, just loitering in relevant position. This is license plate 81171E3. That's audible activity, and this is group stalking by the company, all right? This is license plate 6149582, 5 U.S.C 690. That loud motor is a means of monitoring, and Amazon Prime is engaged in that as well. This is P.O.C. All right? And this is that which they are engaged in using that brand. All right? In no way evading what is going to be federal law, monitoring with the rest of the cockroaches. That's just a cockroach in a company vehicle. Understand that. 8UVK916. All right, just sitting in the car, US.3265055, just driving in circles around me as I'm walking up the street, just like the state does in planes, flying in circles around me while I'm walking up the street. This is the company engaging in that conduct, and it is engaging in the criminal elements, but also understand the conduct that you're coloring. You're coloring that conduct. Not only are they monitoring, they're aware, based on the nature of the crime, that they're being documented and engaging in this traditional level of stalking. All right, they're literally following as I'm going and doing so in a great number of vehicles on purpose, aware that they're being documented. I just wanted to go ahead and get pictures that I did get that. He was just sitting in the parking lot in his vehicle. You hear the audible activity created as I approached that Amazon Prime vehicle. That was a means of audible activity. And then that Amazon Prime driver leaves out of the parking lot after loitering in relevant position for an extended amount of time, all right? As I document them then leaving. That's just leaving out of visual presence. The entity remains. Understand, Amazon Prime is just one actor of the people of the state of California, individually identified, if you will. All right. It is currently 2:36 p.m. And I'm at the 7-Eleven where the state has engaged in flying directly over the storefront while I stand in front of the store, flying over me as I stand in the parking lot, documenting third parties. The state is monitoring me now vicariously as I'm identifying them by third-party license plates and by commercial actors, a part of that same group. This is 731 South Euclid Avenue, 7-Eleven, and that's P.O.C. It's currently 2:38 p.m. License plate 4883282. Honking the horn is audible activity while he's just sitting idle in the parking lot. Okay, 4883282. Sitting still next to me in the parking lot at 7-Eleven while that third party over in another location is creating the horns to monitor. The vehicle behind me that you hear, amplified audible activity while they're monitoring. And I'm just pointing out what this one in front of me is doing. They're all doing that together. Okay, that's called P.O.C. This is group conduct. All right, now 4883282 is engaging in patrolling. He drives forward, then he stops as the horn starts sounding. Then he's, again, listening to me recite his criminal conduct in real time. Then he engages in, okay, I'm going to turn into a parking spot. I'm going to turn, I'm going to back up. I'm going to turn again, and I'm going to back up. That's called patrolling and creating light activity. All right, that's P.O.C. License plate 6149582. This is an older white Caucasian male. He's going to be seen on the cameras inside of 7-Eleven at 731 South Euclid Avenue. He's group stalking while he's making a purchase. He's monitoring me as I speak. All right, that's a psychopath. That's a sex offender identified as one within the single group that is monitoring, including the commercial actor Amazon Prime. All right, it is 2:37 p.m. All right, it is currently 2:49 p.m. on May 1st, 2021. I'm still walking north of Euclid Avenue. It's taking a long time because I'm documenting third parties and the state as I'm walking up the street, which is north. And I want to capture what is the state's fake sun directly over me. Not only, again, this is in direct conflict with its remaining over the room at 2301 South Euclid Avenue at over 227, room 227, as I clearly captured it in picture after picture and video after video, including the light activity that the state was directing inside of the room. P.O.C. That's an African-American male on a motorcycle intentionally creating activity while they're group stalking at ATM Euclid 1 food store, beer and wine at 603 South. They're monitoring as they're driving past, including Omnitrans, which is driving south on Euclid Avenue right now. And I'm going to go ahead and get a picture of the state's fake sun. Again, not only in conflict with what I just documented, remaining at Economy Inn, also in conflict with what I've already published. I have gone from the museum, walked south on Euclid Avenue to the 7-Eleven, walked north back up Euclid Avenue, and the state's fake sun was directly over me in tow, right? This is in the afternoon. This is morning documentation. And then I also went to Los Angeles that same day on the Metrolink, and the state's fake sun remained directly over me in the window, over me while I went to Los Angeles and Alameda. This is P.O.C. 73747T1, monitoring under the fake sun. I'm at the corner of Euclid Avenue and Sunkist in front of 529 Sunkist Street, the 100 block of Sunkist and the 500 block of Euclid. All right, the state's fake sun directly over me here. I want to be clear because, like I said, I have already documented this. And I just want to punctuate what I've already documented. Going to every third party that I documented. 47088L1, monitoring me sitting in the parking lot of 603 South Euclid in that truck. That's a commercial vehicle, all right? And this is the fake sun right here, right over me, and that's what I'm taking a picture of right now at 2:50 p.m. This is the light source as I've already published in 2020 while I was walking north and south. License 505-4U, that's a handicap plate. And the state's fake sun as I was walking, both leaving the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, where it's over the south part of the venue of the Ontario Museum of History and Art, where I was sleeping. I captured it in the morning. Then I walked south down Euclid Avenue. I'm documenting what is the creation of audible activity and the state's fake sun remaining directly over me as I'm walking south. Then I walk back up north and it remains directly over me. I've captured in video the state creating directed light activity on this bench of the Omnitrans bus stop at 6097 where the state's fake sun was directly over me, where the resident at 529 Sunkiss was creating audible activity, pouring out water in a bucket. She's a psychopath who's monitoring with the state, creating noise while the state was flying over my head in Southwest airline planes at the same location where the state's fake sun was. This is in the morning, all right? And then the state's fake sun remains over me as I continue to walk, which is way up north on Euclid Avenue, and I get on the Metrolink train. Recall this. And I documented how the state's fake sun, the light source, remained directly over me for the entire time as I remained in Ontario, San Bernardino County to Los Angeles. All right, P.O.C. underway, including by Los Angeles Police Department. Okay, this is P.O.C., including the Sheriff's Department of Los Angeles County. I documented all of this already. All right, so this is Amazon Prime, again, the opposite of coincidence, 44922S2, under that incredible circumstance of a fake sun. All right, this is an entity that knows that it has been squarely pegged as the stalking psychopath sex offender that it is, operating under a demonic influence. Understand that relevant context, okay? This is why Amazon Prime engages in it, not because it has any argument, but because it is literally hostile, and it has no argument. Understand, Amazon Prime represents the people. The people have no argument. The people are in the position of the state. The state has no argument. That's what this is. Understand what the significance of this. This is the ability to discern the entity that is incredibly hostile, that has been identified in unprecedented level of criminal conduct. Being under a fake sun and crossing path, engaging in the criminal elements as they have been identified, is not helping Amazon Prime or 5CTK446, 8UMZ777, and every other third party that I'm documenting. All right, that is impossible to exist. Not every other location where I've already documented the state's engagement with this light activity, and the state's fake sun is directly over me at the same location where I've documented it early in the morning. Not only at the same exact location, but remaining in tow as I go from 7-Eleven, where I just completed a purchase. By the way, everything on surveillance cameras is group stalking. That's all they're doing is monitoring. And the state's fake sun is over me. Not only did I document it, I documented the state flying over me in its Southwest Airlines plane over my head at that 7-Eleven. And the state's fake sun was right there, okay, doing the exact same thing, remaining directly over me, irrespective of any direction that I'm going, and then wherever I go, remaining for the duration of the day, okay? That's why it was remaining over the parking lot of 2301 South Euclid Avenue. This is, like I stated, irreducible direct evidence. And this is the Ontario Fire Department demonstrating ongoing hostility to what it's listening to me document. And I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of that right now. And I'm also going to take a picture of the fake sun directly above me where they are sitting in relevant position. This is the same entity that group stalks in a private space. The Ontario Fire Department engaged in group stalking, criminally threatening conduct and harassment, while it is group stalking acting in concert with these third parties that are patrolling all around me under a fake sun. All right, license plate monitoring with the Ontario Fire Department 6VMK116, 7TGR388, 8JEF441, license plate 7TLV355, license plate 8SCT904, license 7TKW690, Ontario Fire Department license number. This is demon possession in real time 1332569, Ontario Fire Department crossing path, just driving all around me, just like Amazon Prime is doing. That's the state acting directly. That's the state acting vicariously. This is the state also engaging in demonic activity. 5XTW809. That's a psychopath driving that fire truck. Understand, what is a secular terminology for demon possession? That which is entirely twisted and demented. It's a psychopath. They know very well that it's weird. They know very well it's illegal. They know very well that it's something that they should not be doing and it's highly abnormal. This is why the system operates under what is supposed to be the guise of ordinary everyday life, and everything that I've demonstrated and documented shows otherwise. 6GZV836. That is a psychopath in a fire truck driving it, intentionally present under a fake sun. That's the opposite of coincidence. That is the deduction of intent, by the way, and this is also that which is in conformity to a pattern of conduct that has already been readily established and documented as such. Third parties monitoring with the fire department 6TJX953. License plate 8AJN551, 6LGV816, 8TCJ707BK, 77K39 paper plate, 07547B1, 8JHK691, 8PYR373, I believe, 6203, 6N2, 7NEK 869, 6MIW 100, paper plate B, I can't really see that one, 8LDB 222, 8TDR 118, paper plate ripped off the front of this vehicle driven by an African American male wearing a VITCO shirt and a VITCO beanie. This is license plate. Ripped off on the front and the back. So this is speaking to that intentional conduct. Understand, this is a psychopath that knows that they're being documented. Providing audible activity, part of the same entity, not avoiding anything. That goes to their knowledge of what I'm doing, okay? 8HIW 104, 8MZK 585, 6WZZ 453, 8JAX 956. All right, 5RNY 306, 4ZPG 986. Yeah, or no, sorry, 896, excuse me. 33719U2. All right, and the more that I document and the more I'm speaking to the significance of this demonic entity being squarely pegged as a stalker and the psychopath that it is operating over people, the more that they're building up in traffic around me. Understand, this is demonic activity. These are psychopaths, and they are sex offenders under federal law. 6WZZ 453. Mariachi Halcones de Jalisco. 3UJE351. 8JAX 956. That vehicle with the Spanish language, that's a commercial vehicle. Monitoring. Okay, this is, understand what third parties are doing in their individual vehicles. The state was doing via Amazon Prime. And I also want to show you another incredible incident. This is the state flying directly over where I'm at. 7374T1. 73747T1. Understand, you hear how it's coming in now? That's plane activity. I'm looking at the plane and you don't hear anything. Then the state turns on it's playing a tape of the sound of a plane activity. 7UGT103 monitoring me while the state is stalking by a plane while I'm standing under a fake sun. That's what they're doing. And this is demonic activity, all right? That's P.O.C, all right? And that is literally a concession of a demonic entity operating through a people. Understand that demonic entity is acting through the government, driving around in fire trucks, all right? Driving around in police vehicles, driving around in California Highway Patrol vehicles, driving around in company vehicles. It doesn't matter what your race is. It doesn't matter what your age is. It doesn't matter the ways in which you are engaging in demonic activity. And I am marrying that to what is a criminal system, because it is criminal, and that's what's relevant. Having the ability to identify the conduct and the implications of that conduct and a pattern amongst the people. And you also need to understand the ability to discern what actually they're also engaged in, which is that which is of an invisible impression. 5NGH988, and it's satanic. All right, this is out of hell. And they're all operating together. And you also can see it through the aggression that they communicate through their conduct. 5ZDG661. All right, this crowding around with traffic at this intersection, as I identify it as satanic conduct, as I identify the Ontario Fire Department, the one driving that vehicle, as a psychopath in nothing but a fire truck and a firefighter uniform. Understand the buildup of traffic is a communication of hostility, analogous to what I was documenting inside of the venue. 6VGG310, inside of the venue at Economy Inn, the booming and banging and all this loud noise that's heard in the room as I'm publishing documentation that they're monitoring. That's a communication of hostility to that documentation, and it's also demonic conduct. What I've shown with the state's engagement with light, not only do you see on August 30th, you're literally seeing an object that is not caused by my hand movement. I do not move my hand, and I am not causing it to move up and down, and I'm not flashing light with my hand. I can't do that. That's an illustration, an example of what is demonic at its root, and it is criminal. 7KBZ 282, I believe. 26664Z2. This is 6UFP 207, 7HTJ409, 5AEW712, 6WBN 960, 83478Z2, 7W45829. All right. While I point out the fact that it is absolutely impossible for the sun to be, if this was actually the sun, it sure enough is not going to be. And I'm speaking in that manner on purpose. Okay, I understand grammar and syntax is very important. I understand this, but I am punctuating a point here that has thoroughly been exposed and made and concluded. Okay, this is not the sun that is over me, as I documented in substantial video in 2020, as I'm going from San Bernardino County to Los Angeles County, and this light source remains over me. It is in the middle of the day, and you have this fake sun in the same position, all right, directly over me. while you have the same incredible occurrence, the state stalking over the same block where I'm at, and then providing the ongoing presence of the state via fire truck while that psychopath that is engaging in stalking is appearing in a fire truck, all right? Okay, knows that they are listening to every word and also knows about what I published about its documentation. This is demonic, 7TTY 906, and it is also nothing to fear. It has literally been trampled and made an example of, and that which is going to occur in a federal court is nothing but an afterthought. It's important that it be exposed right now, and that's what I'm doing. 8FTS 858, 6HYR093. This is license plate 6LPZ 715. 7WYK 902, 8EPB 912, 31535G2, 6BZH 668, I can't really see that one, 8RKT 092, 6PQH 641, 7P34 849, 5ZJS 596. All right, and the implications of this is what I'm saying. This is not new. I have already established this. All right. This in particular with regard not only to the state stalking, you're talking about you establish that pattern of conduct, you're getting down into identifying third parties as they're monitoring with that entity. And what is also in addition to the fact that you've already established that pattern of conduct, and so you're literally identifying the people as they are engaging in that pattern of conduct vicariously on behalf of that entity, you're going to get down to what is also direct evidence of that. And this is the fake sun, that incredible occurrence. These third parties monitoring under the fake sun. Loitering in relevant position via a stop sign, 6YXN858, all right? 15353F2, if I did not read that one already. 6XCB138. So what are you getting down to? You're getting down to what is also reasonably to follow. Like I stated, I have already established this, but this is May 1st, and I'm going ahead and make another point. You are looking at the totality of the documentation, and there is ample documentation which is direct evidence against the people of the state of California, the vicarious actor, license plate 6KKN604, as to the state's conduct with its stalking with its light source, which is not possibly the sun on any day and no way, no day. And this is also the fake sun as I'm documenting. You're looking at the times, you're looking at the day. This is the same time where the state's fake sun is squarely over me as I'm sitting at the history wall at Ontario Town Square. It is not both here and over me and remaining over my room at 2301 South Euclid Avenue and remaining over as it did Woodside Senior Apartments at 408 West G Street in Ontario and remaining what I capture in my videos before I identified what was a fake sun remaining over me. The fake sun is seen in the videos where I'm living in my car at 714 North Vine Avenue, remaining present for the duration of the day. All right, where the state was also stalking by planes and helicopters. In Woodside Senior, the state also stalking by planes and helicopters. At Ontario Town Square, the state also stalking by planes and helicopters. The state also stalking by planes and helicopters at Economy Inn, 2301 South Euclid Avenue. I have documented this over and over again. It has already been established, all right? This is license 8L22224, 8L22224, I believe, yeah. This is also that which is, again, the state stalking by planes and helicopters is the same. It's married to the state stalking directly. The state is stalking directly by planes, helicopters, police, fire, and ambulance. Literally at every single venue this has been established, all right? USPS dipping in on P.O.C. Vehicle 1261522. This is that which is already established, and it is also the direct evidence of it based on the fact that this is not possibly the sun. And why are you, so you're not going to stop there. You can already see this is not the sun. It is not possibly the sun. So why is this over me everywhere I'm going? Because they are monitoring, they being the people of the state. We already know that the state is stalking me directly. Oh, but the state is not acting alone. The state is acting through every third party in relevant position who I have undertaken to identify in any way that I can for purposes of making an example of this entity that is acting corporately, all right? It is engaged in not only monitoring, but it's doing so engaging in sexual violence. I want to get Omnitrans that's engaging in P.O.C. under the same fake sun. Route 87. I'm standing at bus number 609, bus stop number 6097, license plate 10635E1, Omnitrans license number 1545906, and I am also referencing their cameras. They are monitoring license 1545906, 8CDA071, 8NAH047, 6AFA800, license 8PSY436. All right, that's P.O.C. And that's how that is analyzed. And Amazon Prime, let me tell you what the significance of that is. Amazon Prime is unfortunately part of this, an unfortunate example of the entity's inability to overcome what is the pattern of conduct that is already established, okay? And providing the ways in which the commercial actors, which are the same group, the people of the state, engage in stalking in none other than a commercial vehicle, engaging in any form. Whether they're actually delivering a package, whether they're actually just sitting in their vehicles, group stalking in relevant position, not doing anything, just like every other third party like this one. 4PWJ183. This is a psychopath and a sex offender who's creating audible activity while she's also molesting, touching all over my person with the same fake son that's over me. That's the deduction of intent. She is doing nothing but creating audible activity, and that is the elements, period. Again, she's in a Toyota 4Runner, sitting in the middle of the street, license 4PWJ183, and wants to be a distraction from the legal analysis that I'm providing. That's how the entity understand. That's the same thing as Delta Airlines and the plane flying over me while I'm at 1021 South Euclid Avenue. That's the same thing as Amazon Prime group gang stalking all together, literally all Amazon Prime engaging in group stalking together at the 76. That's the same thing that she's doing. That's what that is. I want to be clear on that. This is the entity engaging in that which is direct evidence of that. And the fact that they're doing so under a fake sun, understand that that is the intent that is demonstrated through that environment by the people that say they're not ignorant of that. It is not reasonable to provide them that sort of a conclusion that are attributed ignorance to them, where they are also engaging in a behavioral pattern, where they also happen to be present, where the government is present directly, and also where they are engaging in criminal activity, seeking to engage in criminal obstruction of justice, which is also documented by the people of the state upon documenting them engaging in P.O.C. All right, it is currently 3:08 p.m. and you have, again, ongoing documentation of what is Amazon Prime engaging in relevant position. They cannot get enough. And I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of that, creating light activity, hazard lights, and pulling up. Again, I'm at Sunkist in Euclid, and this is 5ZTZ523. All right, this is this is something that I have documented before. For example, when I was at Walmart and the state began flying over my head with the fake sun directly over my head while I'm at the lawn and garden, and the state began patrolling in helicopter, and I could not believe that they provided me that doc. I could not believe that's exactly what Amazon Prime is doing. I mean, I can't believe that in and of itself. Understand, you could take away the fact that I'm talking about group stalking and that I'm identifying. Do you understand that that is not a coincidence? That's beyond the reach of any coincidence that Amazon Prime continuously is engaging in being around me. That's what group stalking is, by the way. All right, that is the absence of coincidence in and of itself, alone. All right, I just want to be clear on that. License plate. I just want to be clear on that. License plate 6LWV502, 8FED440. P.O.C. P.O.C. It's 3:09 p.m. (3:18 p.m.) AMR. License 0164. Get this one right here. 5DRR654. That's the Camry sitting right here. I'm going to take a picture of where they're sitting right here on the side of the road. Fake sun right here above me while AMR drives by creating sirens, all right? And I also want to take a picture of, and again, that's a gold Toyota Camry that I took a picture of. They were sitting on the side of the road. Understand, they were already sitting there before the sirens sounded. They were stalking. The state is creating audible activity while they're loitering in a relevant position. They drive off as I go to take a picture. That is not pursuant to the what is supposed to be protocol for sounding the sirens and you stop on the side of the road. That's group stalking. Understand how the entity engages in P.O.C. The state's fake sun is directly over me, okay? And I also want to take a picture of what is this bridge right here. I took a picture of it right now. The Amazon Prime driving back and forth repeatedly on this bridge. It's 3:19 p.m. I just took a picture of the bridge and the significance of that. Amazon Prime driving on this bridge repeatedly as I'm sitting right here on the side of the road That was AMR engaging in P.O.C. And rather than reading the license plate of AMR, which is readily identifiable as a state actor and already heavily documented, providing the sirens that you're hearing under the fake sun that is directly over me where I am standing, nearest intersection being Park Street and Euclid Avenue. And I wanted to get that third-party license plate instead. That is more valuable. That is speaking to what third parties are engaging in. That's the criminal pattern of conduct. And Amazon Prime engaging in ongoing stalking, literally driving its vehicles back and forth on this bridge that I just took a picture of. I want to be clear on that as well. That is the absence of coincidence. And I just continue to make that point as is already established. It's P.O.C. and they're systematically monitoring, driving north on Euclid Avenue in any kind of vehicle that they want on any by any means, by bikes, walking past. The state is monitoring by flying over and flying around, by being inside of their private homes and or any business. The entity is systematically monitoring. License 8B57207, 7WGN 667, 6NWC 080, 7KPN 222, 7KRL 995, 8CTZ 718. I'm standing under the state's light source, nowhere near 227, my room, all right? Right over me where I'm standing. 8NPS 383. They're monitoring on the run. They're in relevant position, and they're creating audible activity while the state is also creating activity. 66861V1. And let me tell you something else. What Amazon Prime is doing, making it's readily identifiable because of that brand, because of that company name, that's what the entirety of the group is doing. The entirety of the group is doing that same thing, repeatedly crossing path, the same entity acting through the multiplicity of faces, okay? That's what they're all doing. You have one, and the company being identified is analogous to an individual being identified, just driving past me repeatedly over and over and over again, pursuant to that pattern of once I identify them, all right? That's what the P.O.C., that's what third parties were doing at that intersection, all right? This is the use of audible activity on the train tracks right here. That's loud, amplified audible activity, a vehicle driving on the train tracks. That's what you hear, and it's flashing light. The state does the same thing while I'm at 435 South Bondview, using the train tracks as a means of audible activity and light activity. All right, just driving on the train tracks with a large vehicle. It's not a train. It's amplified in sound. It's very loud over here, and it's blinking lights on it. That's P.O.C. All right, this is... I also want to be clear, use of the train tracks, use of the train, that's a means of interstate commerce for monitoring an American citizen with communication devices, and they are also using the internet. This is also while they're using the means of interstate commerce, their vehicles on the roadways. This is all related to interstate commerce, I want to be clear, while they're engaged in that criminal conduct. This is relevant to 18 U.S.C. section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2. 5 JCP 527. License plate 6DFL 985, 8TWK 361, 5WBZ 162, 8SZB 998, I believe. Everything that you're hearing, the honking of what's supposed to be a train, honk, 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 the loud sound of a large truck or utility vehicle on the train, creating light activity. Everything that you're hearing, everything that's occurring around you is absolutely deliberate and intended, where the state is maintaining light in the manners in which I have described it, all right? This is also the same point inside of any private space. There are no malfunctions. It is all serving P.O.C., but it is also that which is intentionally designed to serve P.O.C. Your television is not malfunctioning. Understand that will be a risk, contrary to the state's intention to monitor you, all right? If they were to risk having some sort of malfunction, they would be at risk of not being able to monitor something that you are potentially engaged in if it were a genuine malfunction. The television is not malfunctioning, it's activity creation. It's a means of monitoring while you're in a private space and through an inanimate object, which is also demonic conduct. 8KDW007, crossing path by me. That loud bug on the cameras at Euclid Avenue and Holt Boulevard. That's a bug driving south on Euclid. It is currently 3:23 p.m. That's intentional under a fake sun. I am standing right here directly over me where AMR was crossing path using its sirens to create activity, using a vehicle to create activity, using the train tracks to create activity, all right, using their very means of crossing path to create activity. Audible activity, okay? It's all deliberate where you have what is the fake sun. That is the significance of that cumulative documentation, and it is direct evidence. That is not circumstantial evidence. When you're prosecuting monitoring conduct by government, that's direct evidence. That's how that evidence is to be treated and acknowledged. It's direct evidence of what an entity is engaged in. And it is 6MYC 705 92888 P2 77347M2 5AAD 800, I believe. Can't really see that one. Let's see. License plates. 8MQX200. All right, and it's 3:25 p.m. I'm going to go ahead and lift my camera straight up so you can see the fake sun directly above my head. And I'm going to turn to my left so you can see the street sign, which is Park Street. And this is Euclid Avenue that I'm facing. I'm facing west, facing Euclid Avenue, facing west. And to my left, which is south of me, is Park. And this is P.O.C. Both pedestrians walking on the street and third parties patrolling via traffic. License 8SGK940. All right. It is currently 3:25 p.m. and that's the picture that I took. Group stalking standing on the sidewalk at Park and Euclid Avenue. This is a female wearing sweats. 95888X1. That's a Mercedes-Benz van. This is group stalking conduct. I'm going to take a picture of her. She's the one that's going to be seen on the surveillance cameras inside of 7-Eleven. Group stalking at that venue. And she's maintaining presence now while she's at the corner. Understand? Let me just take a picture so you can see where I'm at. There is no question about what she's engaged in. And that is federal prosecution, period. She's group stalking. And this is analogous to the third-party group stalker lugging a bag of cans on a little walk trailer thingy, making noise beside me. Group stalking standing at the corner with their back to me while the state is flying over, while the state's fake sun is over me. That's P.O.C. All right, she's crossing path. License plate 43749D3. Understand, they're patrolling, and she is patrolling behind me. She's just coming in closer quarters. That's the entity acting as one. It's not separate conduct. It's all related conduct. This is why you stalk with a light source. This is why you invade with directed light inside of any private space, inside of any location where you're at. This is Beavers, license 3658T2. That's a Beavers is a commercial vehicle. It's a black truck driving north on Euclid Avenue. 18949L2. 8C52852, I believe. And 26736C2. I can't really see that one that clearly either. 8SCV009. That's an Equinox. Driving north on Euclid Avenue. 7LNT429. All right, all of traffic that's on the traffic cameras of Euclid and HOLT, they're driving south. They're engaging in crossing path. They're coming toward me. They're patrolling and approaching the traffic cameras at Euclid and HOLT Boulevard, driving north. They're crossing path. They have passed me. 997M25. That is a black SUV driving toward the traffic cameras right now. 7ARG065, I believe. It's 3:27 p.m. And again, that female walking behind me, she's the same one, group stalking and monitoring at 7-Eleven on the camera. She goes to the soda machine. Even understand that third parties are going where they readily anticipate me to go. This is pursuant to items that I have purchased before, what I'm likely going to get, something to drink. Everything that I say is also being monitored. She goes in and she's at the soda machine. All that even is not a coincidence, okay? But she could have gone to the pastrami aisle. She's still in relevant position, but I'm letting you know how detailed it is. She even goes to the soda machine, which is a part of that pattern of conduct stalking, even where I go inside of a grocery store or something analogous like a 7-Eleven. And she is at the soda machine, and then she is loitering in relevant position at the register, having purchased a drink, a fountain drink. She's in clear operation of her communication device at the register, and under the form of waiting for some sort of, I don't even know what she was doing, but she's loitering in relevant position, she's monitoring, and that is seen on the surveillance cameras. And I am present, completing my purchase inside of 7-Eleven, and I did complete my purchase at just to be complete, 2:43 p.m. And again, that 7-Eleven is 731 South Euclid Avenue. And she is the same one that I just took a picture of, engaged in not only traditional stalking, all right, but group stalking. All right, that is P.O.C. And I took a picture of what is the state's light source, not over 231 South Euclid Avenue, as I've already stated, not even over the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, as it is captured when I'm sleeping there and I wake up in the morning and it's there. It is right here, which is behind its schedule. But again, you don't have a schedule when you're stalking with the light source. The state's light source remaining present over the same properties at different times of the day based on where I am traveling at that time of the day. Okay, so, but I'm just speaking to the impossibility of that actually being the sun. It is, let me get this license plate, 8KWZ 237 or 327, excuse me. License plate 6FYU 558. I can't really see that one that clearly. License plate. It's a paper plate on a blue Kia. 6KV 619, but I can't really see that one clearly either. 8HSB 224. I'm standing at like a little hill area next to a tree at Park in Euclid. 7MSE 332. 8AFW 406. 8NAW 949. 8NH. I can't really see that. We scratched that one. 7GKE 107. All right, and even this is a very precise location of the state's fake sun. All right, directly incompatible, impossible to coexist with my ability to reach my camera straight up above and take a picture of what was supposed to be the sun over room 227 at 231 South Euclid Avenue. All right, this is impossible for me to be able to capture. That is the light source directly over me. And as I walk out and I capture those videos in the parking lot during the day while they're group stalking at that venue, the state's fake sun directly over me. This is directly impossible to coexist with being where I am now, which is a very precise location right here over me as I'm standing on the hill at Park in Euclid Avenue, okay? Understand the communication of hostility through the creation of audible activity. Revving that motorcycle engine is not only amplified, it is occurring with simultaneity to my pointing out the obvious that my documentation already establishes. The entity doesn't like to hear it. The entity doesn't like the fact that I'm able to point out those facts. This is that which is demonic, okay, at its root, but it is criminal and in no way impervious to prosecution. That's the significance of it. This is demonic activity that you are looking at before your very eyes. It's made manifest, and it is absolutely no secret whatsoever. And it is the occurrence of that which is impossible to coexist. So you're talking about demonic activity, which is subject still to common sense and basic reasoning. This is not the sun. It is impossible to be the sun at these very precise locations where I'm capturing it, where it's remaining over me. Not even as I'm in San Bernardino County, but as I go to Los Angeles County. All right, directly over me, and I've captured that in clear picture and video. All right, this is P.O.C. and even in audio as I'm reciting what my environment looks like, and I've already established my credibility. No need for me to make up anything. I don't have to be hyperbolic. The state's criminal conduct enough is extraordinary enough. All right, I'm just literally providing the visual to what I am experiencing on a day-to-day basis, which is an unprecedented level of criminal conduct, and it is also satanic. All right, this is license plate 5RDJ087. 654-92H2, 8RNU 639, and 8SNN 074, 7G80466. That's a paper plate. All right, they're just minions. All they're doing is crossing paths. You don't have to say anything. You don't even have to know the target. Well, the target individual does not have to know you in order to be engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring. And they literally are minions just patrolling. All right, fully aware of everything that I'm saying about them. All right, and you're able to pay attention to the activity as they create it. And you're also able to deduce that hostility as well. All right, this is P.O.C. This is literally that demonic personality coming out as they engage in the criminal conduct. And that's a matter of discernment. All right, 7XQM415. And regardless of any willingness to accept or not accept, the fact that this is demonic conduct is actually legally irrelevant. This is going toward objective conduct established by documentation. All right, this is that which is material, all right? It's tangible evidence that you're seeing with your very eyes. So regardless of the fact whether you want to accept that as what it is, because it is demonic, and I'm showing you all the ways in which you are able to see it, all right? This is not some ability to see the invisible or some weird esoteric, no, this is not any of that. I'm bringing common sense reasoning and logic to what is criminal conduct, but it's also demonic, all right? All right, this is not requiring some special, allegedly special spiritual ability and having no proof whatsoever of the ability to establish what is occurring. That's not what I've done at all. I've literally laid it all out, and I'm providing you what is context. This is also not only criminal, this is satanic conduct. These are minions. This is minions. And demonic activity is in your face every day. You just don't know what you're looking at. And this is that which is operating through any actor, okay? It doesn't matter whether you're in a private vehicle. When you get into that demonic aspect, it doesn't matter whether you're in a private vehicle, whether you are flying a government plane or a third party's plane. It doesn't matter whether you are in your personal home or in some business establishment to engage in demonic activity on behalf of that entity, that demonic entity, all right? That demonic entity does not care about it. All it needs is a participant. That's it. And these are the participants. This is the people of the state. And this is a satanic system. And you are in a fishbowl. The targeted individual is in a fishbowl. It is an operation, ceaseless operation, expansive operation, which is also established by the state's fake sun. Okay? This is speaking to the amplification of laudable activity. Everything that I have already laid out. It's criminal, but it is also satanic. All right? So you're talking about documentation of what are psychopaths. All right, psychopaths hiding behind having a little puppy dog, having a handicapped child, having a baby stroller, engaging in the provision of what's supposed to be their job to some other third party. This is how psychopaths operate. They know very well the fact that it is wrong. It's supposed to be maintained as a secret, and they are engaging in what is conduct, speaking to the ongoing knowledge of the fact that they are being documented and that it is unacceptable. Understand, a psychopath is aware of all of that. That is why it is public corruption that is hiding in plain sight. Okay, it's right in your face, and necessarily so. It's not supposed to be that, which would be very ineffective if it was that was supposed to appear as it was covert. No. You're looking at it right in your face, and I'm letting you know what is ongoing with regard to the legal analysis of the conduct you're witnessing, and also what is the spiritual context. It is satanic. That's a psychopath. That is reasonably concluded based on the conduct. All right. And you're engaging in that pattern of conduct, you are acting pursuant to that same behavioral pattern, you are complicit to that same government system of monitoring and seeking to do so at whatever way you have at your disposal, which is literally broken down into the bare bones criminal conduct that it is. That's a psychopath that's failing at trying to hide it. It's not hidden anymore at all. Okay? It is currently 3:37 p.m., and this is P.O.C. as I'm at Park Street and Euclid, and they're just patrolling, USPS patrolling, third parties patrolling at the street, loitering in relevant positions. So how are they doing so? They're focusing on the curb, the side of the street or the curb that is in alignment to me. That's where USPS parked its vehicle in order to engage in loitering in relevant position, being in the path by going and walking on the sidewalk and delivering their mail, delivering mail, okay? And this is that which they have at their disposal. Anybody could show up and engage in any sort of provision of commercial services and to engage in the P.O.C., which I've also shown, all right? This is at Park Street and Euclid on the opposite side. Impossible light activity appearing on the outside of what's supposed to be some the church at 508, appearing on this brick building, which is also speaking to the criminal conduct that they're engaged in, all right? It does not matter that USPS is in a USPS vehicle. They are engaging in presence in the path, while I am standing under directly what is a fake sun. That is not the sun. And also want to be clear, that is light, period. That's engagement in the P.O.C. There is no getting out of it whatsoever. Even if, and that's not going to be the case, it's not the case, because it's already established that it's not the sun. It's impossible. Understand, even if one was to totally, absolutely dismiss about the direct evidence of what is not the sun, understand it is still the presence of the element of light and light activity. Whether you want to accept the fact that that's light abnormally occurring, or whether you want to say, oh no, that's light that occurs every single day, it doesn't matter. It's the engagement in the element of light, and it is P.O.C. for monitoring. I am speaking to what is proven to not be the sun, proven to be directed light. This is artificially engineered. This is state engineered light, which is no ordinary light. This is very powerful light. This is light that engages engages in that which is not in any way similar to actual sunlight, to genuine sunlight, and this is a systematic means of monitoring, I just want to make that point clear as well. It is monitoring regardless. That's how you monitor light, activity, and relevant positioning. Period. All right? I've also shown what is not the sun. Oh no, that's not the sun. That's impossible. And this is also not sunlight. I have established that. And that's through documentation. That is direct evidence, okay? So that is going to the absence of coincidence of everything that's occurring while they're in relevant position. This is intent by the state and intent by third parties. The state is intentionally creating this environment while you're surrounding by them because they're monitoring with the state. All right. When you're looking around and you don't see any police officers, you don't see any fire department, you don't see any AMR, you don't even see or hear their sirens. They're present vicariously by the group stalking entity that is acting all around you, whether you know their name or you don't know their name. All right. And this is that which is systematically documented. This is also why an entity engages in criminal conduct of fictitious prosecutions, malicious prosecutions while you're monitoring. All right. Having no probable cause whatsoever, and also having no probable cause to ever arrest, no reasonable suspicion because you're monitoring. You know exactly what is occurring at all times because you're monitoring. That is also the ongoing evidence about what the state is doing. The state is flying via aircraft at a heightened elevation while the state is amplifying the sound of traffic right now, flying over that same brick church at 508 at the corner of Euclid and Park. The state is flying over that building right now, okay? And doing so while activity is created in a different method. By how do you hear it? By traffic. That's audible activity. State is stalking by a plane flying over this location. All right, not flying over the room, not flying over the chapel where I was at Belmont and Euclid, not flying over the 1021 South Euclid at the house that I was at, flying over here where I am at Euclid and Park. All right, that's P.O.C. Stalking by the state, and the state is stalking vicariously by the people while the fake sun is directly over my head. Nowhere near, not even close, and impossible to coexist with being over 2301 South Euclid Avenue at any location at that address. Especially not over my room as I captured it over and over again. Not only this year, but last year in August of 2020. It is 7KCK426. It is currently 3:41 p.m. That's P.O.C. 1276 1M1, patrolling with the rest of them at the intersection of Transit and Euclid. They are loitering in relevant position via the traffic light. They are all under the fake sun, which is over me where I'm at, P.O.C., and I'm referencing the traffic cameras as well. Third-party group stalker sitting at the corner, and I'm taking a picture of him right now. He's in relevant position, and they are loitering via traffic. And as I approach the intersection of Transit and Holt Boulevard, where the state's fake sun is right here at Ontario Museum of History and Art, where I stand, they're loitering in relevant position at the at the dead-end street of Emporia, across the street at 214 South Euclid Avenue, surrounding, as I'm walking up the street, the state using what is train activity, and this is P.O.C. as I'm walking. So I did get that license plate, but I understand that's one. They all engage in patrolling, repeatedly crossing path. And I'm going to go ahead and take a picture also of what is the state's fake sun right here where I'm standing. And this is the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. It is currently 3:48 p.m. As early as 7 in the morning, the state's fake sun is over this building as I documented it over where I am sleeping. And you have what is 3:48 p.m. It is captured directly over where I am standing on the opposite side of the street. That is not the sun. That not only is that piece of documentation is what you compare. That's not the sun. It is also that which is not going to be seen by me as I'm standing at my room at 2301 South Euclid Avenue. License K2769. That's a handicap plate driven by a young male. I don't see him with any sort of handicap besides the fact that he's suffering from demonic possession, operating on behalf of a demonic entity and acting with the government. But I want to be clear with regard to that documentation. That is also not going to and not possibly naturally occurring with regard to my location inside of 2301 South Euclid Avenue. And again, I have already documented this, leaving from Economy Inn, walking up the street, and I captured the state's fake sun. Like I stated, while I'm at Mission and Euclid, and the state's fake sun over me at that intersection, and replete with the helicopter, the blue and white helicopter flying over my head as I'm documenting third parties. 8GJT125, BK53H19, that's a paper plate, 8HYU869, 8453696G1, excuse me, that's the loud vehicle, creating audible activity under the fake sun. This is 8RQF416. And again, it is right now 3:49 p.m. And I am referencing the cameras. Omnitrans is going to be seen at 87 at the bus stop. They're loitering in relevant position, creating light activity. The state's fake sun is directly over me, which is impossible to coexist with that which I've already established. This is not naturally occurring, and that is not possibly the sun. 6WLN863. IGOTME. I got you, honey. This is license plate 7LUM872. 16912N2. All right. And also 8UKV144. Again, the totality of my documentation. Where have I been at or around the same time? B&G Plaza. All right, that is where I'm standing now. I'm standing in front of 150 East Holt, the Ontario Health Center, and I'm standing on the property, the sidewalk adjacent to the property of the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. I'm standing right here in front of it, where the state's fake sun is captured early in the morning, and then as I leave that property, remaining over my head as I go to walk east on Holt Boulevard, remaining over me, over that venue, over 435 South Bonneview, which also, like I stated, at all times I've literally been everywhere, and the state's light source is remaining over my head at that same central position. This is impossible to coexist. So I want to be clear on something. I am looking at traffic that's driving east on Holt Boulevard, and I am approximately maybe 35 feet away. And what the state has done, and this is speaking to Omnitrans' intentional conduct, all right, where the state is amplifying any activity that you're creating, where the state is creating light activity off of your presence, which is directed light. It's not off of your presence. The state is literally just surrounding me with directed light while you are crossing path or in the path. That's concerted conduct. Omnitrans and that is the legal analysis as well. This is how the vicarious actor acts with the public entity to monitor. Doing so using a commercial vehicle such as Omnitrans bus. And again, as I documented, while I am much farther away at the building, the property, sleeping on the side of the museum, the state uses Omnitrans as a means of creating audible activity, which is well over 50 feet away, okay? Very far away. Do you understand how loud the speaker would be? The speaker, which is a means of audible activity, which the state is amplifying where I'm sleeping at the museum, that would be very loud to the actual patrons on the bus if it was actually at that volume. But the state uses it, Omnitrans provides it as a means of monitoring me. While its fake sun is present over me in the morning, but I'm documenting it while it is remaining over me as I'm walking north up Euclid Avenue today. And it is present over the same address where I am present right now, it's the afternoon going into the evening, whereas I have captured the state's fake sun right here over me at the same property, Ontario Museum of History and Arts. That's what third parties such as 8EYX 632 are engaging in. Intentional presence that's crossing a path of light activity and audible activity creation, acting in concert with the rest of the third parties that the state is monitoring me in concert with, all right? This is the government, in other words, driving these individual vehicles. They're in the shoes, they are in the shoes of the government, which is maintaining vicarious presence all around and creating that deliberately designed environment conducive to monitoring with communication devices. 8ATL383, ISCRUZN, 6FTS124, 32063K2, and 2584, 5F2, 8GOC 970. All right. It is currently 3:53 p.m. And I'm going to go ahead and capture right where I stand. That is, the state's fake sun. Got it. It is 3:53. I'm gonna go ahead and turn so you can see where I'm standing. All right, and this is the same position. So this is no different, and that is not the sun that is remaining. And understand at this time it's supposed to be over me, literally in line with me, where I'm at the entrance of Stater Brothers, where I'm standing at the Coin Laundry remaining for that day. Remember that documentation? And it remained on that in front of and over Coin Laundry for the entire day. And this is in that which I have established at every single venue, including that which is in literally impossible to coexist everywhere that I have shown it. And so the reason why I'm revamping over that is because I am documenting third parties, and all you have to do upon establishing the state's pattern of conduct is literally take down names, because the public entity monitors through the people of the state. And I have shown how it does not matter how the people of the state are engaging in that P.O.C. They do so intentionally. It is a malicious system. They do so individually, as you know, using their private residence or any private vehicle, any means they have as a private individual, but also through any commercial means. It is the same group using any means and everything at their disposal, while the state maintains that ongoing environment surrounding and stalking with light, stalking with activity, and stalking by entity, directly and vicariously. All right, it is 3:55 p.m. and that is ongoing direct evidence as I proceed to identify those third parties group stalking as I walk all the way up the street, monitoring. All right, that's why I'm doing that, because I've already established the point, but I'm going to get out. There is no third party that is in any way avoiding being prosecuted as the group stalker, and the sex offender is an exceedingly violent sex offense. 7W49494, 5ZEL662, paper BD18S51, that's a paper plate, 8KFB624, 8SCV009, 4J82704, 6TXY293, 4UTN242, LT23. That's just 4 characters on that. LT23. This is 8URV922, creating audible activity while they're crossing path as well. And again, everything is intentional under the environment that the state creates. 8LFY991, while they are aware that you're documenting them. Okay? So these are not ignorant actors. Not ignorant as opposed to in any way. Not ignorant as to my presence. Not ignorant as to the state's fake sun. Not ignorant as to their amplification of audible activity that they're creating while they are around me. License plate 87410PZ, 6NEP005, 8MBD105, 7BAR300, 6SEJ486. Patrolling, drives forward in my path and then reverses in her vehicle. Again, as I look backwards to document third parties, she's in vehicle 7VKW492. Heavy set, a Caucasian female with a blonde ponytail. She is in, she's driving from Holt Boulevard, driving north onto Euclid Avenue. That's a Mitsubishi. It is currently 3:57 p.m. Through 58 p.m. SNKE 306, I believe that's a red Mustang driven by African-American male driving north on Euclid Avenue. The state flies over by plane at the intersection of HOLT and Euclid, amplifying the sound of plane activity, and then that third party chimes in. Again, the state is amplifying that third party's vehicle engine, all right? And oftentimes the state is literally just playing the tape. I call it playing a tape because that's tantamount to what it's doing. It's just playing into the environment sound of what is supposed to be, or presumed to be, caused by the cars that you're looking at, in the same way that you're looking at what is supposed to be the sun, so you're assuming this is sunlight that you're looking at. That's what the state does. Like I showed with the city of Ontario using the dumpster truck, not even emptying the dumpster, all right? The state is playing the tape of sound of crashing dumpsters. And then they go forward in my video and they actually empty the trash, which then the state amplifies in sound, okay? That's how the entity acts together. That is the state flying over at the all right, 6SXT694, 8LBM485, 6PHX207, third party, loitering in relevant position, driving a Cherokee Patriot, I believe, a Jeep Patriot, 8KBY555. State's fake sun is directly over me where I'm standing. What am I looking at? I'm looking at the Yangtze restaurant that closed down business. I'm standing at the corner of Euclid Avenue and B Street, B as in boy, and the state's fake sun is directly over me at this location, where I have already established my documentation as the state stalking not only by planes and helicopters, police, fire, and ambulance, but with its light source. Again, mutually exclusive to what I've already documented. Just got through documenting at 2301 South Euclid Avenue. The state's fake sun remaining over me as I'm walking north of Euclid Avenue. Now it is continuously remaining north as I'm approaching what is Ontario Town Square. Third parties just continue to patrol. 5 CIP 631. And that was the state that was flying over at Holt and Euclid, and then amplifying the sound of a third party in a red Mustang driving north on Euclid Avenue at the same time. And This is third party with license plate 6DRP053 and a paper plate in the window says BL37Y86, driven by a Latino male wearing a white t-shirt. JVZ2713. That looks like a Texas license plate. And it is currently 4:01 p.m. I am again approaching the Ontario Town Square, which is at Euclid Avenue and B Street. And this is where the headquarters are for state stalking. Again, as I remain here, this is where the state concentrates its activity, where the state keeps its fake sun at any part of the property where I'm at, right? So where I'm at the amphitheater, the state's creeping underneath the structure in order to touch with light. Documented that in 2020. Where the state is, where I am on the side of the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library, the state is present with its fake sun on the side of the library, in direct conflict with its remaining present over the amphitheater and creeping with light over there. That is the pattern of conduct. While I'm sitting at the history wall, the state's directly, and again, this is both early in the morning and the afternoon. All right, this is in direct conflict with all of its position, remaining over the Ontario Senior Housing Partner community. All right, remaining directly over there. Remaining directly over me at Euclid and D Street as I sit at that bus stop. The state's fake sun clearly captured an image directly above my head as I'm sitting at that bus stop. That in and of itself also, that's P.O.C. This is the plane activity. They are seen on the surveillance cameras. They're all monitoring. It is 4:02 p.m. That is Prime Air, Amazon Prime, group stalking via airplane. Absence of coincidence, just like I stated. Fake sun directly over my head, and group stalkers surround on the property itself. And it is currently 4:02 p.m. and that is the plane activity that you're hearing. All right, flying over the Ontario Town Square as I'm walking through the property. Group stalkers sitting around, amplifying traffic. State's fake sun directly over my head. All right, at Ontario Town Square. This is P.O.C. That's federal group stalking and monitoring. And that's the state indicating that ongoing pattern of conduct underway, stalking by planes. Understand, even in the absence of a plane, which the entity tries to engage in, as I engage in more and more documentation of it, the amplification of any sort of activity, which is the ongoing indication of state action, the ongoing presence of the state's impossible light activity, which is the indication of state action. That same pattern of conduct documented in that regard as well. Ontario OVITT Family Community Library security guard, the old, aged, white female crossing path. She works for Securitas. She's acting in concert with the state. Hello. Third party that knows that she's being documented. I was just waiting for her to demonstrate her ongoing hostility. She's engaged in not only monitoring, criminal facilitation of monitoring, but then ongoing harassment while she's monitoring me. So she thought about it, didn't say anything. Okay, so anyway, this is the state's fake sun. I'm standing right here at 280 North Lemon, and she is monitoring, acting in concert with the state that's flying over by Amazon Prime. Flying right over where I'm standing in the state's fake sun right over here at 280 North Lemon Apartments. Again, I've already documented while I'm already seated at the side of the library where the state's fake sun remains present for the day. State's fake sun is not there yet because I'm not there. I'm going to go ahead and speak to what is the state's fake sun, not on the side of the library, but on the opposite side, right hovering over my head as I'm walking toward the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library, 8UJY245. And the state's fake sun is not on that side. It's on the opposite side. I'm facing what is C Street. I'm sorry, I'm facing Lemon Avenue, and I'm at the turn circle. So the state's fake sun, which has been documented as I captured in video and pictures, remaining over the senior center. And then as I walk toward the library entrance, it moves back and forth. I've captured that literally, not only second by second, but over the duration of the day. And this is the state's fake sun, which is remaining over me following as I walk toward the side of the library. Okay. It is currently 4:05 p.m. And that is Amazon Prime. Again, I want to be clear, group stalking via airplane, just like it does with its vehicles. That is the provision of instrumentalities in order to monitor an American citizen. The creation of audible activity, that's irreducible conduct in the state's pattern of conduct. That is P.O.C. That's helicopter activity. Then you hear what's supposed to be sounding like firecrackers. Then you hear what is the train, the sound of the train. Remember, the state just creates noise in the environment as it flies directly over me where I'm standing. That's what I just took pictures of on my camera at 9 p.m. and doing so as I'm in the midst of downloading an app. So I'm engaging in activity on the internet, engaging in ongoing activity creation, engaging in ongoing stalking by a helicopter, okay, flying over the exact same location where I am at. This is P.O.C. It's 9 p.m. And just like I captured those minions, they were engaged in the same pattern of conduct with the entity that is engaged in stalking and present here because I am here. All right? That's P.O.C. and that's firecrackers. That's the sound of what's supposed to be firecrackers. That's just audible activity. It's P.O.C. More helicopter activity begins right now as I'm transferring files on my podcast. 9:02, it immediately stops as I press record. It's the same activity that I just took a picture of visibly and that you just listened to. The state just created it again with knowledge of what I'm doing on my phone, stops it. The state is engaged in ongoing stalking. Okay, I've already established that. P.O.C. Seconds later, just like I said, flying right over the same location, red flashing light, there it is right there, patrolling around, starting and stopping activity, and now it's patrolling audibly. P.O.C. and monitoring. Stop at the ability to record. I took a screenshot of that. That's how you also know what they're doing. He's patrolling around, as you can hear on the audio. Flying over the senior center. Flying over the senior apartments. Flying over the Ontario Town Square. Flying up and down in a line where I'm at. All right, and again, warning, recording failed. That's not a failure of my communication device. They're monitoring. That's monitoring conduct. That's the result of this audible activity creation. All right, it's 9:05 p.m. Just flying above in a circle. Literally trying to avoid being captured. That's why they're monitoring on my phone. But I'm capturing it on podcast so you can hear it. And I've already got tons of videos of the state stalking. All right, that's the absence of coincidence. Desperately trying to stop my ability also to upload the podcast of the hundreds of license plates that I documented today. I'm taking pictures of it right now. It's flying directly in front of me, just patrolling around. Now, right, the state is interfering with the ability to capture video. My camera is working fine, right? That is speaking to not a failure of my phone. That's monitoring, trying to stop video. That is also letting you know I am surrounded. I'm surrounded by communication devices, and they're monitoring. Also, the fact that the state is creating amplified audible activity of helicopter activity while it's stalking. Okay? I just captured like 20 pictures. All right, the minions whose face I got up close, they were monitoring with the same entity. You don't have to be over 18. They just sit over here in relevant position, crossing path. Helicopter activity is the alternative to skateboard noise. The state is amplifying it. The state is acting through underage criminals. You don't have to be under 18 to be charged with federal group stalking and monitoring. Out of the minions' mouths, harassing speech while they're monitoring with the government that is monitoring me through that activity that they are intentionally creating, pursuant to the same behavioral pattern, okay? Crossing path on their skateboards at the same time I'm engaging in activity on the phone. Literally, as I switch a screen, as I upload a document, trying to obstruct that ability while the state is not only creating noise that isn't actually occurring, meaning the sound of like a barking dog, for example, when there is no actual dog, or where there is a dog and the dog's not actually barking, the state will create that activity. The state will, where the dog is actually barking, the state will amplify that activity. The state is amplifying everything. And the state acting through those underage group stalkers engaged in monitoring and understand, engaged in what is that same threat you were talking about being communicated through an underage actor. That's P.O.C. And that helicopter, again, speaking directly to everything that I've documented, in the state engaged in an obsessive, desperate effort right now to obstruct my ability to upload the totality of my podcast. I still have a substantial amount of it, which I'm going to publish, but they trying to obstruct the ability to access it. That's monitoring, by the way. That is also direct evidence of the very thing that I'm documenting as they are monitoring on my phone. All right, monitoring meaning interfering with the operation of it, trying to obstruct my ability to access it, in tampering with the operation of the phone, the applications, the functions on websites, slowing it down substantially. All right, that's what monitoring is, and that's what the state is engaged in. And that was helicopter activity. It's 9:08 p.m. What you're listening to is audible activity, but let me tell you what the state is doing. It was helicopter activity. As I press record, the state supplements that helicopter activity, which is covered up by the sound of a vehicle, right? The state is just artificially engineering noise while they're systematically patrolling, driving past at the turn circle at C Street and Lemon. The moment that I press record, you're going to hear a car rather than the helicopter activity, and that's because the state wants to drown out that sound of the helicopter. I just captured the audio of what the state did. It's P.O.C. I just want to be clear. It's still audible activity. They're monitoring, but I also want to speak to the entity, all right? You're coloring this psychopath that's monitoring. This is the government drowning out that helicopter activity immediately with a sound of what's supposed to be a car at the moment that I press record. It's 9:18 p.m. That's helicopter activity. It's 9:52 p.m. 8KNJ447, group stalking in front of the private residence that is 226A as an apple. I am on, I believe it is Vine. I've walked through the street to Vine. They're group stalking, waiting for my arrival with the headlights on in my position as I approach, using the car door as they close it to create audible activity. Again, that's license 8KNJ447 P.O.C. It is 10:18 p.m. The same license plate, group stalking again at Stater Brothers, 84060M1. All right, so the license plate that I already recited at Vine follows me to the Stater Brothers. Understand they drove in an entirely different direction. This is a third party that it considers, this is the rationale of the entity. I've already documented them, so they might as well cross path again. That's the rationale behind that. It's engagement in the criminal monitoring elements. It's also pursuant to the behavioral pattern as I arrive at the driveway of the Starbucks I'm sorry, not the Starbucks. That's another criminal establishment. I am at the Ontario Village Shopping Plaza where they're patrolling on surveillance cameras in the parking lot, loitering in their vehicles, creating light activity and audible activity. And as I arrived at that driveway, that was that third party meeting me in concert with the license plate that I had not yet recited. This is crossing path, light activity, and loitering, 6HQE053, 8KZY585. And again, surveillance cameras at the Village Shopping Plaza. Also in the venues where they're going. They're all in relevant position in the state of stalking. This is already established. I'm literally taking names. 22806C3. It is currently, and again, the driveway that I'm entering at the Ontario Village Shopping Plaza is the one at Bonita. So this was group stalking, as I stated, in front of that private residence with their headlights on in my direction. I recite their license plate. They proceed to drive north on Vine Avenue past me. And this is, as I arrive in Stater Brothers, they cross path at the same time I get into that driveway. That's meeting. That's what third parties do. They meet. Light activity creation, 7YBT605. Nissan Altima white. It's currently 10:24 p.m. 7CAK891. The white Dodge driving east in the parking lot, right past me, past the Stater Brothers surveillance cameras of the parking lot. They're crossing path, light activity creation. It's P.O.C. what they're doing. And that's just for purposes of where I'm at. I'm walking in the parking lot, and I'll be seen on camera carrying my luggage tote, little carrier thing, and with my backpack on and my black jacket, and I'm on camera, and this is federal group stalking and monitoring, everything captured on these cameras. It's currently 10:25 p.m. Yeah, I read that one. Now they're crossing path after remaining parked and then using their vehicles for light activity, turn signal on while they're parked, then turns on the opposite turn signal, 8HWM112, while they're parked, and now they engage in P.O.C. by driving past, okay? It's P.O.C. Stater Brothers employees loitering in relevant position in the parking lot, anticipating my arrival. They're monitoring, third parties alike. P.O.C. I am entering inside of the venue right now at 10:26 p.m. Stater Brothers at 646 West Holt Boulevard in Ontario, California, where I have already thoroughly documented what is federal group stalking and monitoring. This is P.O.C. headquarters. 10:38 p.m. I'm in the restroom of the Stater Brothers located at 646 West Holt. Booming heard through the, I guess the ceiling. Where I'm hearing it from is actually just pursuant to the state's amplification and targeting of that audible activity. The state can make it sound like it's coming through the ceiling, through the wall. This is audible activity while I'm in the bathroom, and it is also pursuant to my movement while I'm in here. And this is also a pattern. When you go into the bathroom, you're hearing boom, boom, booms. That's P.O.C. And regardless of the method, it is audible activity in the bathroom where the state's pattern of conduct is established. And this is 646 West Holt, Stater Brothers Markets, P.O.C., 10:39 p.m. All right, I want to get this Latino male with a hat and a bicycle. He's on the opposite side of the bathroom wall. Understand that's relevant positioning. I'm going to go ahead and take pictures of this. This is 10:43. I'm documenting again when I was in the bathroom, ongoing boom, 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 pursuant to my movement, okay? Any sort of activity in that private space is monitoring. The state is able to monitor you. That's the sexual violence, in addition to the fact that all of them, while they're ringing up groceries, while they're walking with shopping carts, standing in line, they're all maintaining real-time knowledge of what you're doing audibly inside of the bathroom, all right? And this is that sexual violence that they're engaged in together while they're maintaining intentional presence in the path and monitoring your activity physically and or on an electronic communication device. And that's requiring you to be aware, by the way. In addition to the fact that third parties and the state maintain that behavioral pattern, if you make any sort of sudden movement or different activity that is not reasonably, I guess, expected when you're in the bathroom, the third parties will enter. Third parties, again, noises will come to the wall. They're ceiling. They're engaged in corporate evasion of privacy by entity. A bathroom in a public business is a private space. Any restroom, you are maintaining that reasonable expectation of privacy. They're monitoring in the bathroom, and this is just documentation of that. I'm going to go ahead and get a picture. This is just an example of what third parties are doing. Inside, in line at the register, ringing up, walking around, they're patrolling, and they're doing so. This is while the entity is also stalking by planes and helicopters, police, fire, and ambulance. All right, I just took pictures speaking to what is the train that's crossing path in the distance. Understand it was literally like one car. The state uses the train tracks as a means of creating audible activity. While this audible activity is created, Ontario police engaged in group stalking, seen on the traffic cameras driving north on Vine and then turning east onto Holt Boulevard. That's group stalking and monitoring by the Ontario Police Department. I am here also on the traffic cameras right now, and I took a camera also just for my purposes of my presence and what I took a picture of, the creation of activity via the train and Ontario police crossing path, group stalking. This is maintenance in the path while they do those are cockroaches in police vehicles. All right, and here's another one driving vehicle number 1005, Ontario police under. All right, crossing path again, driving what is east on Holt Boulevard at 11:23 p.m. Another Ontario police vehicle crossing path. Understand this is the same thing that I was capturing a third party doing. That's Amazon Prime, all right? They're doing the same thing, group stalking, and specifically pursuant to animosity, hostility, based on my documenting. Understand, I want to be clear, not only are they engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring, this is Satan operating over the police, okay? Understand that conduct, that stalking, that group stalking conduct, that very weird, peculiar group conduct that they're engaging, this is demonic, and it is operating very strong influence over the police. Just want to give you relevant context of what this source is, but it's criminal. So that's Ontario Police again, crossing path, seen on the traffic cameras at Vine and Holt, driving, crossing path with me as I'm walking east on Holt Boulevard, and Ontario Police cross path, and seen on the traffic cameras at Vine and Holt, driving east on Holt Boulevard, at the traffic cameras at Euclid and Holt, seen patrolling with the rest of the third parties, okay? P.O.C. It's currently 11:24 p.m. I'm sorry, that was a B, but I missed that one. Let me get a license plate real quick. I'm gonna get a timestamp. They're patrolling past traffic lights, and this is 89533V2. Patrolling past. Group stalker is loitering in relevant position at Laurel and Holt Boulevard, parked at the curb at Fiesta Motors. They're creating light activity in my path. They're group stalking. And they are maintaining that position as I'm walking on the same side of the street, walking toward that location. That's group stalking. Group stalker creeping behind where Auto Paint Body Works is, creeping behind that building. That's light activity. This is what I mean by cockroaches, and this is what the Ontario Police engage in. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of that so you can see what I'm talking about. So at third party facilitating venue, Sam's Liquor, looks like a trio of males exit that venue. Understand, they are engaging in conduct that's seen on the cameras at that venue. And the license plate of the third parties in that vehicle aiming light toward me is 7PDV347. That's P.O.C. Flickering their lights. This is monitoring. All right, they're not being polite. Understand, they're creating light activity. They are engaged in monitoring, okay? And that is a guise under which they create light activity, stopping for the target individual and blinking their flashers as though they are engaging in letting me pass. I'm documenting them, and they know that I'm documenting them. That is P.O.C. That's the malice with which the people of the state and the state act. This is license plate 6GND731. All right, they're patrolling past traffic cameras at Holt and Euclid, where I am walking toward. Okay, it is currently 11:27 p.m.